In 2017, Joy Fluker came forward to police reporting that her mother, Anna Young, had been a cult leader and had been responsible for multiple children's deaths while they were in her care. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office opened an investigation and quickly discovered that Young had run an organization called the House of Prayer for All People for many years. Dubbed a cult by many, the House of Prayer claimed to be a refuge for Christians who were down on their luck. It was supposed to be a place to find faith and to care for children. Instead, former members claimed it was a cult where Young reigned with absolute authority. She had been accused of abusive behavior towards the members and their children. Police also learned that in the early 1990s, Young had bathed 12-year-old Nikki Nicholson in a tub with bleach, causing burns. Wanted for child abuse charges, Young had fled, leading to the collapse of the House of Prayer. Young was eventually caught and convicted. She was sentenced to time served while awaiting trial, which was about 6 months. As detectives interviewed former members about the House of Prayer, they heard that 2 other children had died in the community's care, Katonia Jackson and Eamon Harper. Needing to speak with Young about what occurred at the House of Prayer, investigators come up with a plan to lure her in to speak about her benefits and possible fraud.
Thank you. There we go. Have a seat right here. There you go. Watch yourself. Thank you. Why don't we close this door, Miss Leslie? This is Miss Leslie Ambrose. She's going to be assisting me today.
Okay.
It's so nice of you to come in. Please have a seat.
Well, I had to come in.
It is one of those things, I know, but we do appreciate you coming in. Was it busy coming in this morning?
Yeah, it was. I was praying I wouldn't be late.
Excellent. All right. These are the items that I asked you to bring in. Excellent. All right, just before we get started, I want you to know who I am, because we did speak on the phone very briefly.
Yes, sir.
And I kind of told you what it was about. I'm with Social Security and with the Inspector General's office, just so you know who I am, my credentials there, and Ms. Leslie.
Yes, sir.
And before we get started, obviously, I want to make sure you understand that we invited you in, and even though we have you in a private room here, it's just for your privacy. And the things we talk about, we don't want to talk about it with other people being around.
Yes, sir.
And just want you to know, because obviously I'm an investigator, I always tell people this when I talk to them about issues of identity theft or inquiries that we do. Because we do, just so you know, we do the investigations for Social Security. If there's any identity theft, misuse of Social Security numbers, misrepresentation of people trying to get people's identity, you know, you'd be amazed how much identity theft is going on in the world today. So when we talk to people, we like to always make sure that they understand what angle we come from. There's also people out there defrauding Social Security. I'm sure you're aware of that. So when we bring them into a room like this, they sometimes can feel uncomfortable, but I just want you to know that the door is there. You can leave at any time. You know, if you don't want to answer any of the questions that I asked you today, you can just say, I'd rather not answer those. And I want you to be completely comfortable with discussing the things, because it's about you. The stuff we talk about as far as your Social Security and the benefits and the banking and the relatives and people that have your husband and your former husband, things like that. We want you to be comfortable being able to talk, and sometimes people, if they don't feel comfortable, they can leave. They're not tied to this room. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate you bringing in the identification. I'm just going to look at some of this stuff because I did ask you to bring it in. So let me just take some notes here. Yes, if you would, Ms. Leslie, take some notes there, and we're going to verify this. Yes,
Can I just show you where the Social Security deposit is coming?
That's good. This is your bank information?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. I'm going to verify that Bank of America with the documentation that I have here. And you get it on the 3rd of every month, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. your marriage certificate, and now you are married to Robert Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you were married on the 30th of July, 2011. Oh, you're newlyweds.
Well, I guess so.
anything under that, yeah. Wow, that's great. Did you go anywhere for your honeymoon?
Yeah, we went to Jamaica. The grill. Mm-hmm.
Grill.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. You can take some notes of that too, just to identify it. Again, thank you for bringing in the letter. I'm going to verify your bank account here. Obviously, as you know, we have this information already regarding, but we'd like to confirm it. Has anyone ever called you about your identity or any family member's identity being stolen or misused?
Not stolen.
Okay. What about misuse? That's a bathroom.
Oh, no. No, no one ever. No, not good to my knowledge.
Alright, and let me just check the account numbers on the front page here. Right, let's see. Ending in 3437. 3437. There we go. And you're still at the 174 Bridgestone?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. How long have you lived there?
About 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
All right, here's the account number I have for you. Bank of America, last ending in 3437, so you can verify that. Just as we have verified the bank account that her Social Security is going into. Now, you're receiving retirement funds at this point. Retirement. You're not receiving disability, or you're.
I'm receiving it from the death of my previous husband.
A widow's benefit.
Widow's benefit, yeah.
All right. Some people don't. Sometimes they get a check and they don't always know what they're getting. If they're getting disability, or if they're getting survivor's benefit, or if they're getting retirement.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure you understood. People who get disability. Have you ever got disability?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't see it on your chart here. When a person gets disability, just so you know, when you get to retirement age, which you're probably getting close to, let's see.
No, I'm 75.
You look so young.
No, yeah, I'm 75. Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, I believe I was.
I'm impressed. You're very beautiful.
Thank you.
It must be trips to Jamaica, right?
No, just trying to do what's right, praying all the time.
Well, that's good. And you must eat right then.
Yeah, so yeah, my church, they talk a lot about how we eat. Mm-hmm.
Vegetables, food, you eat?
Lots of vegetables. I don't eat, I eat fish and chicken.
Okay.
I try not to eat it a lot, but I eat fish maybe twice a week, chicken once a week.
That's what my wife's been trying to get me to do, is eat more chicken and fish. She says that.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
The
I agree.
vitamin, the E or the omega, is really good for your skin. And I have
Lots of
my
water.
whole skin anyway.
Water, plain water.
All right, so we verified Bank of America and the routing number, and we're good there. Okay. Have you ever missed a payment from Social Security?
A payment.
Yeah, like a month.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My mind went to, have I ever paid them? No, I've never paid them anymore. No, I've never missed a payment.
Okay, all right. And you've been receiving off of your husband for some time?
Yes, ever since '88.
Okay, all right. I'm going to get to that in just a minute, because those are one of the things I want to verify also this today. But let me first start with the unity. What we have is obviously everybody that comes in, we're verifying Social Security numbers and the person that we're talking to. That's one of the big things that we're doing in relation to us talking today. So what we have here in the Social Security system is every time that you came in and applied for a Social Security card or a replacement card, or you changed your name, you married or something like that, we have that here. So I just want to verify a couple of those with you. And what I'll do is I'll start with the most recent very quickly. because you have quite a few. You were in last year, and you got a replacement card, and this obviously identifies. I'm going to show it to you just so you know. It identifies your date of birth and you confirm it. Okay, and the place where you were born, Kentucky. All right, and then your parents' names. Is that correct? Okay. All right. And then the time before that would have been 2012. Has anybody ever applied for a card that you were not aware of? They got a card that you didn't ask for that you know of? No. Okay. Any mail like come to your house that stated you requested a card or anything like that that you didn't request? Okay. All right. Okay. So from our records, obviously you first came in 2012 after you got married, and you changed your name from just Young to Young Anderson. Is that correct? You did that. Okay. And then before that, you were a Davison, is that correct? Okay. But you are also using the name, your maiden name. Okay. And
my husband, he was born a Davison, and then he later had his name changed to Young because his father wanted him to carry his name, but that was after he was an adult.
Okay. And that was another thing that flagged in our system when the names change and it doesn't identify here some of those changes. Those are always some of the things we want to find out why names were changed and so forth. With a married situation, it's pretty easy because if you marry, you change your name and so forth. The majority of the time, people will either add a name or change a name. But with your husband, now, Mr. Anderson, is who you're married to now. Okay. And is he also receiving benefits from Social Security? Yes. Okay. But you don't receive benefits off of his funds. You receive benefits off of
my deceased
husband.
I wish I did receive them off of his. I would get more.
All right. So let's talk about him for just a moment, because we verified who you are, and you've been married how many times?
Okay.
Help me out here, because I've got the names here. If you can't remember, I can.
Okay, I married George McDuffie.
McDuffie, okay.
Yes, that. And okay, let me, because I'm old. Let me slow down. Oh shit. Vincent Rollins.
Okay.
You got that?
Vincent. And the other name is what now? His last name is Vincent?
No, his last name was Rollins.
Rollins.
You got him?
Let's see. Did you come in and change your name to Rollins? Yes,
so long
right?
ago, I can't remember.
He was your first
Don't have me to go back so long.
Okay. Rollins, right there.
Yeah,
okay. That's very good. Yeah. All right. That was back in the 60s.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You got me going back because I married when I was 15.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I did.
I can see why you need prayer, a lot of prayer.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. Let's go back with the husband that you are receiving current benefits on, since that's the one that's important for us to verify, since you're receiving the benefits under the record of Mr. Davison, Robert Davison, who changed his name to Jonah Young. And he would have done that in 1983. Okay.
I can't remember the date.
Do you remember when you married Mr. Jonah?
It was in the 70s. I can't remember the exact. But now, let me see. I think it was 73.
73.
I think. Between 72 and 73, I think.
Okay, that's a long back, you remember.
Well, yeah.
A lot of water under the bridge since then. Okay, and help me to understand, it doesn't tell me here why Mr. Jonah changed his name.
Well, he changed his name because his dad wanted him to have his legal name, because when his mother, you know, they never married. His mother and father never married. And so then he wanted to go into ministry, and his dad asked him would he change his name to his last name. And he changed his name to Jonah himself. His dad's last name was Young, but he changed his name from Robert to Jonah because he didn't really want to go into ministry, but he felt pulled to, so he dealt with Jonah like in the well, you know, in the Bible.
Okay.
So that's why he changed his name to, his first name to Jonah, but the last name Young was because of his dad's request.
Okay.
Because he had got close to his dad after he became an adult.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that helps understand. That helps me understand it, because I do see here where his father's name was obviously Roosevelt Young,
That's
and
right.
his mother's name was Catherine Davison.
Right.
But that helps me understand why he changed it, obviously back to Davison instead of from
Davison
Young
to Young.
to Young. Right. Okay. And then he changed to Jonah. And he selected that name himself.
Yeah, that was his. Because his mother, she was teasing. She said, "You just like Jonah. You don't want to be a minister," because he didn't want the responsibility. So she was teasing, but he didn't change it just because she said it. He just changed it because he wanted to. But
So
she did say that.
He was running from the call. Huh?
Yeah, he didn't want to be there.
All right. And you guys were married when he did that, or before he?
We were married when he did that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we married in Davidson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I see.
And then and then, you know, he had our names changed to Young.
Okay.
Legally, yeah, through attorney.
Okay. All right. Where did you get married at?
We got married in Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago. Okay. Was it cold?
Mm-hmm. Well, when we got married?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. That's a big city.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so on his record, obviously John's record, it shows obviously when he passed away. What was it?
March 88.
1988. Okay. And that shows on the system. Okay. And that I'm sure that was a loss. You were married how many years?
He died in 88. We was married approximately 15 years. Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on from there to your record under Mr. Davison, under Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because since you are getting benefits off of his record as a widow's benefit, all of your information, is reflected on his number. Okay. And so what happens is when you pull up your record called an MBR, which is a master report on you, it shows the benefits that you're receiving and who you're receiving them under. Since you don't receive them on your own record, which would be under your number, okay, you receive them on your deceased husband's, on Jonah's record,
Right.
and that shows here. So when we put in your number, it automatically relates over to his record, and it shows a report there of your benefits that are received. Okay.
No, nobody explained like that, but I knew why I was getting it.
Okay,
You know,
yes.
because of his benefit.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm just going to go now over some of the stuff that's on the record relating to your benefits. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. And to verify, your Social Security number is 3. All right. And your current phone number is the one you called me at. You might want to take note of this. 70 that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Then that's what we need to correct in our record. Okay, so what is your current?
7.
Fortunately, is that a cell number?
Yes,
Or a
sir.
home? Do you have a home?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What number is the home?
6, 7.
Did you get that?
I did.
All right. Okay. Verifying your stuff on the account, I want to make sure everything is correct here. You came in and you changed your bank information in March of 2016. Was that a new bank account number that you changed it to, or were you just verifying the change?
I changed it because I had my granddaughter, she did some stuff and stuff. Because me and I have the same name. Her name is Anna Elizabeth Young also.
Okay.
And we were living in the same house. So,
Okay.
yeah, so some
That can
things
create
happened, yeah. So I just,
So you understand how it can create some overlap sometimes.
yeah.
Is everything okay there? Did something happen that wasn't good?
Between me and her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but she no longer lives with me now.
Did it have to do with Social Security?
No.
Okay. All right. Was she wasn't taking any of your benefits or something like that?
No.
Using your account or something? Using your identity?
No.
Okay. I'm just asking.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Only because, these are the questions we have to ask.
Oh, no, I'm not upset about anything of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just come in here to be honest, whatever you know or don't know, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't like stress, so I just really... I'm saying I don't like stress.
Right.
So
Right.
if you tell the truth, you don't have stress.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you came in and you changed it, and now it goes to this account.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to another account.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me continue on here. Just make sure. Anything else I need to verify? Your current benefit amount? I have $781.30. Does that sound right?
Well, I don't get that. I guess
Right,
maybe
because
after
some of
they
it
take out
comes
some
out.
metal, yeah, so I end up with 6 something, I think.
You got $635. What they
Okay.
do is they take out a percentage of that for your Medicare, and everything's been working fine there. You have Medicare
Mm-hmm.
B or D.
Yeah, my husband, he got us in a supplementary insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. Is there anybody else on that account that's receiving benefits from Social Security that go into that account?
No.
Just yours?
Yeah, not many benefits.
Okay.
My husband put money in that account, but it's not from Social Security.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you have other accounts. He has an account that he has stuff put into also. Or you
Yeah.
have joint accounts.
He has another account, with Reggie, and he also has an account with Bank of America.
Okay. All right, so everything's verified there. Changed. Before you moved to Georgia, you were somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you previously living before coming to Georgia?
Before I moved to Georgia, I was living in Florida.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And whereabouts in Florida?
A place called Mickey-Nope, Florida.
Mickey-Nope. Where's that?
In Florida.
Is it central, southern, northern?
Well, it's closer to Orlando.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It must be a small town.
Yes, very small.
All right. And you were there for how long?
About 12 years, 11, 12 years.
Okay. And before that, where were you?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big jump.
I know.
Chicago.
Oh, well, no. Right before that, I was here.
Okay.
Because I came here from Chicago, and then from Georgia I went to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I mean, that's a big jump from Chicago all the way to Florida.
Mhm.
Okay, so that'd be a life shock. Okay. All right, moving right along, so I told you I would try not to take up too much of your time.
No, take your time. I'm not in a rush.
Also on this record are children that received benefits under Mr. Jonah's number, also who was entitled to benefits during that time. How many children do you have?
I have 5 children now.
5 children.
Yeah.
And what are their
I have
names?
6. Well, Terrence,
Terrence.
Jabron, Kevin, Arthel, oh, wait a minute, Joy.
Let's make a note of those names if we can.
I'm so sorry, could you repeat that for me?
Okay, Terrence, Joy, Kevin, Arthel, and Jabron.
Jabron?
Mm-hmm. Those are my 5 living children now that are still with me.
Not
One of my
LeBron,
children
right?
was lost.
Not LeBron?
Jabron, G-I-B, he pronounced it Jabron.
LeBron, if LeBron James is he can Jabron, okay. So you have 5, that's 5 children?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had 6, but I got 5 now.
What happened to the other one?
This was lost, which is painful to talk about.
Okay. Was that a son or a daughter?
Daughter.
Okay. All right. And her name, can I ask her name?
She was a stepdaughter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. She was my husband's daughter.
Is that Johnny's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
John's daughter.
Yeah. That was a stepdaughter.
Okay. All right. So you don't have any, what dealings do you have with these children? Are they living around here? Do they live close to you?
3 of them live here in Georgia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, and the others?
In Chicago.
Okay. Which ones live here with you or live in the area?
Terrence, Joy, and Arthel.
Okay. And then the ones in Chicago would be?
Jabron and Kevin.
And Kevin. Okay. There was another. Okay. Moses. Okay. So that's 6 children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
6 living children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got 3 that live here, 2 in Chicago, and then.
It's just a lot of things happen. So kids make up their mind to do what they want to do when they get grown.
Okay.
When they get older, some things happen that I don't feel like I need to discuss.
Okay.
Personal things, yeah. With the children when they were, yeah.
They can be a burden, can't they?
Sometimes, but but sometimes you have to do what's best for them too. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get back to some of the stuff here that's on the record. All right, so over a period of time after Jonah passed away back in 1988, you came in and you applied for benefits with children's benefits for 2 of your children that are on the record. Talk about those for just a second. The first one on the list here is Joy, Joy A. Is that for Ann? Joy, okay. And you received benefits for her from, basically it started from your application point in June of 1988 to when she would have turned 18, which would have been in 2004. Okay, and during those years, you received child benefits as, and our system says, as a representative payee for her. Okay. during that time frame, you remember coming in and applying for those benefits for her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where did you apply? On my sheet it says Gainesville, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were in Gainesville?
Yeah, well, Mickeynoka was just like a little bitty village town. So Gainesville was where you would go for things like that. They didn't have it in Mickeynoka, no Social Security Administration.
Okay. And I have a P.O. box here, 372. Was there a physical address that you remember where you were living?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Okay. All right. The benefits that came were directly deposited also into an account. Do you remember what bank that was at?
It was before they changed the name to Bank of America, whatever the name of the bank was. I can't remember. I think no combinations, but I don't know. I can't remember.
They changed their mind.
It seemed like it started with an E, but I can't remember.
All right. So, because I know that the current routing number there comes back to a Bank of America. But like you said, back in those
They emerged or something happened back then, yeah.
So, okay. Now, you received that on a monthly basis to take care of Joy. Joy lived with you during that time? Okay. You took care of her needs during that time? Okay. Was there any time that she was not in your custody?
No, she was in my custody.
She lived with you the entire time? Okay. And the reason I ask that is because, as the representative payee, you probably remember filling out what is called a representative payee reporting form. You remember those? Okay. Well, in the record, every now and again, they may have sent you a reporting form to say, did you get the money? Did you spend the money for Joy? Clothing, food, shelter, things like that.
I don't remember getting that.
Remember those?
Okay. No, I never had nothing like that I can remember.
Right.
Tell me what I spent the money for.
But obviously, if she's living with you, you were spending the money to take care of her.
Yeah, but I just never remember.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I never remember them sending me a form.
Okay. Okay, and then obviously when she turned 18, the benefits stopped. You would have probably received a letter basically telling you that since she's 18, the benefits are stopping. Do you remember that? Okay. And obviously she went to, and Joy lives here now, right?
Yes,
okay.
She lives here.
Okay. All right. Was there any issues with the funds that you were receiving for Joy?
Any issues?
There was a time when they didn't show, or it wasn't directly deposited into the funds, or somebody took them.
No.
They shouldn't have taken them. Nothing there. Okay. Okay. This is a breakdown here. Is Joy married now?
Yes. Yeah, she's married.
So do you have grandchildren from Joy?
Yes.
Okay. How many grandchildren do you have?
14.
14.
Yeah, my husband, he has 6.
So April should be a big month for you, right? That's Mother's Day coming up. Mother's Day, Grandmother's Day. You should be getting a lot of cards and gifts.
I do.
Wonderful. All right.
I don't have any water in here. I'm
You
sorry.
do?
I missed the green. I didn't know if they let you bring water, and I had some in the car, and I didn't end up getting. I was trying to make sure I got it. I'm trying to thank you so much.
So welcome.
Good.
Okay.
You got it. I'm sorry I don't have a glass for you.
No, I don't need a glass. I think it's okay. So how often y'all have to do this?
We do this pretty frequently ever since, identity theft has become such an issue in the United States. People misusing Social Security numbers and stealing bank accounts and people using other people's money.
So why did an alert come up on me?
Anytime there's
nobody stole nothing from me.
in a bank, whenever there's alerts that come up, then we have to talk to people face to face, because when we talk to them over the phone, what happens is, and this has happened to me more times than I can count, tell you about, they put somebody on the phone. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Somebody on the phone who really isn't the person, and they try to lie to you, and I'm sure you can appreciate.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I was just wondering why the alert came up on me specifically.
I think the alert came up on you because you were a rep payee for different people, okay, and then also in that process there's been a flag in the system because names have been changed, different accounts have been used and changed. So what we do is we just get together and we talk about how the family, if there's an issue there. And I don't want to.
You don't want to what?
I don't want to accuse anybody in your family of doing anything wrong. I want to be able to look and be able to kind of go through the data and make sure everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's pretty standard. I'm learning from Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
I was just
walking
wondering.
me through how to do
Yeah,
it the right way.
Yeah, well, I've had some family issues with one of my children, but it hasn't been related to this.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And a lot of times it's amazing how things will, like a spider web, connect to many other avenues of life, and it throws flags up all over the place. And, some things are important, and some things are just like it's just a routine.
You just have to go through it.
Exactly. So I appreciate you taking the time out to help me.
Well, I have to.
Yeah. Okay. So let me continue here, if you don't mind, real quick. So that's Joy, and she was one of the ones on your account. Now there is another lady on the account. But you were not involved with her because she had a different representative payee, and I believe she would have been probably Mr. Davis, Jonah's child from another marriage or another relationship.
Another relationship.
Okay, so I won't ask you anything about that since it doesn't really involve you on his record.
Mm-hmm.
Since there's a different payee, I will be talking to them about the issues there. But do you know who that person is? The other child of Jonah's?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, and what's her name?
Belinda.
Right. Do you ever see her?
I never had, she never lived with, I never had a relationship with her. I just seen her and she visited a few times, but other than that.
Okay. When's the last time you saw her?
I'm getting uncomfortable now because you're asking a lot of personal questions to me that don't have anything to do with this alert thing.
Okay. Well, it has to do with the record of Mr. Jonah, because out of Mr. Jonah's record are the people that I'm talking to you about are receiving benefits or have received benefits.
But I didn't receive it.
No, and that's why I'm not going to Melinda. I'm going to her. I'm not going to talk to you about it.
No, but you was asking me, do I ever see her? I just felt like that don't have anything to do with this, and everything, because, like I said, my husband had her, Brother Jonah had her prior to me knowing him, and so that he was never married to her mom. So, she was eligible for his benefits after he died. That's all I know. And I've only seen her about 3 times, but I never lived with her. She lived with me. We never did have that, she lived with her mom, to my knowledge, and one time she stayed with her grandmother for a while, which was Jonah's mother, but that's what I know about her, So I'm just saying, I'm just, I'm thinking, and everything, because I never experienced coming in here dealing with all of this. So it brings back a lot of hurtful memories, you know. But that's not your fault. I'm just trying to explain to you why I start feeling uncomfortable. You know, not anything to do with you personally or what you need to do in order to do your job. You know, it's just that, you know, some things hurt and they've been gone a long time. And when you mention names and stuff, it just brings back that pain, you know.
But I want you to understand.
I understand your position, but I just want to also help you understand why I responded. You know, not personal, but this was a lady my husband was dating, and he had a child by her. You know, during the time he was dating me, you know, so it just brings back some memories. You know, and he's gone. Me and him had a good marriage together. You know. So I try not to think about any of the bad parts of it.
From hearing you speak, I can tell you're a religious person. You're calling him Brother Jonah.
Yeah, that's, you know, he became minister, you know.
You were talking about him previously. I don't know. I try to go to church too, and we would say back home, we'd say, well, all that passes under the blood, and move on. But I do.
Yeah, I understand. You know, I mean, I don't want to, you know, make you feel awkward either. You know, it's just when you say it, you know, it just brought back that thought. You know, some of it hurt.
Well, I can tell that you had a tremendous relationship with Jonah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. But we went through that too. You know, like all marriages have different things they go through. Some of them is not as traumatic as others, but you should, you know, have those times.
Thank you for.
Yeah, and so I'm going through a lot of pain now with something else. So I guess you're already going through pain, and then you think about some more pain. So it's just one of those things.
All right, I'm trying to get through this then.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just to help you out there, I don't want you to be suffering.
Oh, no, I'm not actually suffering.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just said, you know, so, you know, when you've been sitting and you know, like some people ask me how did Brother Jonah die, and, you know, I mean, I don't feel like talking about it all the time, and then sometimes I feel okay talking about it, but sometimes I don't want to talk about it because it hurts. You know, it was a painful time in my life when he died. Yeah, he was only 42. You know.
Sure, anytime you lose someone you love dearly, it creates pain.
Last and final call for E370, window 12, E370, window 12.
All right. Also on his record, besides yourself and Joy, obviously you're continuing to receive benefits. Joy's benefits stopped. Okay, I have a Kennesaw, Georgia. Is that?
Yeah, I can't think of the address, but yeah, I was living with my daughter for a while in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Okay.
When I first moved back here.
All right, and that was the same time when you came in and applied in June of 1988, right after John had passed away. You applied, I guess, would have been the same date. You applied for both Joy and for. They were minor children in your care after his passing. And he began to receive benefits also, and you're listed as the representative payee. I do notice that the bank account were different. Were you trying to balance? Was there a reason why they were different accounts? Just for accountability purposes? I'm not sure.
I don't remember that, different bank accounts. I only remember one bank.
Okay. Okay.
I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Sure.
I just don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. I was just asking because that kind of flagged my system too. Again, that's one of those things that in the process of speaking to people are not aware, and this is a big issue today with Social Security. People bank accounts. They'll call up and they'll say, I'm Miss Anderson, and they'll have your date of birth and your social security number, and they'll say, please change my direct deposit to bank XYZ, and here's my bank account. And the people at Social Security believe that that's you talking on the phone because you gave the right information, and they change that account. And for 2 or 3 months, you're wondering why your checks didn't come, or a check for a child didn't come, or something didn't happen. You call up and they'll say, benefits have been going to this other account. Meanwhile, that person's got your money for 2 or 3 months and they've skipped down and they're gone. So that's why we ask if you recognize during that time frame if there was a change of account that you remembered or not.
Well, it might have been. I mean, if it says that, then I guess it was. It's just that some things I don't remember.
Okay. All right. And, all right, so Moses is...
In addition to her own children, Annie Young claimed she had adopted a boy. While he was named Eamon Harper, Young had renamed him Moses. According to Joy and Young's former followers, she had raised Eamon for several years before he vanished. Young had claimed publicly that he had been placed with a loving family.
All right, so Moses also during this time frame, is that correct?
Yeah, for some of the time.
Some of the time?
Mm-hmm.
Where was he the other part of the time?
Well, I gave him up to a lady back then, but I continued to send money for that support.
Somebody adopted him from you, or you?
Not legally, but he was taken to her because she wanted a child, and I was going through a lot of pain and agony. And so one of the members in the church, he knew her. I didn't even know her. I never did want to know her or anything, but I dealt with his credibility on her and sharing different information and everything like that, because I was going through a lot of pain because of the way Brother Jonah died. So I was, going through a lot of agony during that time. He wasn't sick or anything. He was working on the car, and axle fell on him. I didn't know where he was. He was in a junkyard and getting a part off of a car. And nobody knew he was there. So, he wasn't the type of husband that would have, been gone for many hours without, letting me know. So, the axle fell and killed him. He was there in the junkyard for some days before somebody found him. So I had a breakdown. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just questions. It ain't sure. I mean, you gotta do. Just bring back memories. Bring back memories, I'm just going to get a hold of myself. But anyway, so like now I'm just picturing all that stuff that I had to deal with during that time. And it was a long time ago, so it was like refreshing. But anyway, go ahead so we can get out. I just want to move on.
You were saying it was during...
Well, they saw I couldn't handle things. So the church was like a community church where we all helped each other and stuff like that. And they saw I couldn't deal with it. pain. My brother was there. He was helping me with Joy, my biological brother. And my dad was there too, my biological dad. So they just saw how I was, and I just wanted to die myself, at that point. And I had a son that was there too. But anyway, that's success. So that's what happened. So I was receiving the benefits and giving to him. He's dead now too. The person that dealt with that. But I was trying to deal with it like I don't want to know this and I don't want to know that, because that way I might try to do the wrong thing. So I was dealing with it like an adoption agency. You don't want to know this, you don't want to know who, you don't want to know that. You just do what you got to do so you can get through with what you got to get through with.
E273, second call, E373, window 12, E373, window 12.
Well, because everybody can deal with things different. Because of my mental state, I wasn't strong enough. Like some people right now, they could deal with you better, even though they've had bad stuff to happen. But certain things is harder. Everybody's different. Some people are stronger than others, and they wouldn't have done what I did. So I just...
How old was Mom?
I think he was almost 4. My family was 4. You just try to forget stuff. Because a lot of stuff still bothers me when you make wrong decisions, or right decisions, or tormenting decisions. You don't know whether you do the right thing or not, But you just put it in the hands of God and deal with the state of mind you're in, so you feel like you're doing the best thing for your children all the way around. When you know you can't handle certain things, So I have a lot that I'm dealing with right now with one of my grown children. So, combination of all that, some of the stuff she's doing, it hurts too. So it's just a lot of stuff going on in our lives. And my other children too. They not, but all of us is being affected by one child.
I understand that.
Because of her anger, and her pain and stuff she's brought on in her life. And different ones don't approve of it. Kids sometimes try to tell them what's right and they don't want to listen, and they get evil and mean, want to hurt everybody. It's like a movie. Yeah. Well, I knew the person that, I knew that, and I knew the person that was arranged that they would make sure that I had that confidence and stuff and everything. So that's the way I dealt with it at that time.
Was it your
I'm
father?
not sorry. My 5 younger brothers in the church, but unfortunately, both of them. I was close to my dad, and he died, and then the other person died. A lot of people.
That helps explain what you assigned me to do, because period of time, it's like a big kind of blank, so you're explaining how that happened.
Yeah, just like, well, so I guess I have to, like when I was a child, my biological mother, she got ill, and she had 8 children by my dad, and my dad tried to keep all of us, but it was difficult for him, my mother was in a hospital for 10 years, so anyway, he gave me and my younger sister away. And the lady that he gave me to, she had a sister. so he gave me the one sister, and my biological sister. We were both biological sisters, but we were given to two sisters that couldn't have any children. And so when I went to school, me and her went to Catholic school together, and she was going to school in their name. But actually, on our birth certificate, our last name was supposed to be Bobo, B-O-B-O. But she went to school in Wallace, and I went to school in Williams because that was their name. So people didn't think, we used to say we were sisters, and we didn't have the same, people didn't want to believe it. And then she called in the other sister mother. It was two sisters lived with their mother. So they couldn't understand how she could call one sister mother and I call the other one. That's the way that went, so a lot of things, happened. And so I had different names, coming up until I got married at 15 to George McDuffie. That's when I got married to George. So then I got, that name, and of course I got married after that, and I got different names. So my mother, they just wanted us to go in their name. So that's what,
If you, kind of going back to love, it's really hard for you to give up. One, you had just lost your husband, Jonah.
I wanted to give him myself too. I didn't want to live either, but it was my son.
And so you gave him to someone you felt would raise him and love him, bring him up at about the age, I think you said 4 or 5.
No, not 5. I know it was less than 5 because we had our own school, and if it was been 5, he would have been in school. I know he wasn't in school then.
And so when you handed it, when you gave him for the care of this other person, did you get to see him?
I didn't want to.
You didn't want to see
Oh
him?
no, I didn't want none of that. I just wanted to forget everything. I just wanted to go on and do. The only reason I didn't do it with Joy, she was 10. She was 10 for that. Yeah, she was
A little older.
Yeah, she was 10. Yeah. Because that's kind of when my dad, I had an older sister, Jeanette. It was 3 girls and 5 boys, and my dad, he just gave me and Charlotte away, and he kept Jeanette because Jeanette was older and it would have affected her more. So I guess maybe in all those thoughts and feelings and stuff that I was going through, maybe some kind of way psychologically, I just thought because the people that raised me and my sister, they were so good to us. I mean, I don't even, my biological mother is deceased, but I still, when I think of a mother, it's the mother that raised me, even though it wasn't legal. It wasn't a legal adoption, but she still was like a mother.
Right.
And same way with my sister Charlotte, we both were raised in the same house because it was 2 sisters and their mother that raised us.
And it's lucky that it was family, so
It
you
was
could stay
so-
with your sister.
Yeah, me and my sister slept together in twin beds in the same
Wonderful.
room. Went to the same school, we were never separated. We were always together.
Some families are not as fortunate to be with their brothers and sisters when that happens.
That's right. And then when I was 13, I wanted to see my real people. My daddy would come and visit us, but my mother was hospitalized because she had a nervous breakdown. So she had to be institutionalized because of certain behavior. And so that's how my daddy ended up with us. But he worked as a janitor for Ford's company in Detroit, and it was very difficult for him. So he met my mother. I call her my mother because she was my mother, but I can't think of her no other way. And she had came there to visit a friend of hers, and a friend of hers, and a friend of hers knew my dad, and they went over to visit. And that's when she saw all these little kids, because my mother had children very close. All of us was like a year apart. So she felt sorry, you know. I'm telling you, but it was just, anyway, you know, that's how all that came.
But that explains why you felt like you were doing such a good thing for him.
What I did,
You know, 'cause
well,
you had a great experience yourself with
I had
wonderful
a
people.
great, you know, me and my sister Charlotte could tell you the same. It was just, I mean, they couldn't have any children, and they loved us. They sent us. They weren't wealthy people or nothing like that. But at that time, their school was a Catholic school, so they sent us to Catholic school. And, you know, we had everything, and she, you know, she cried and cried and cried, you know, when I wanted to get married at that early age. But the Catholics had engraved in our minds about fornication, you know, having premarital sex. And I had met this boy dating, and, you know, he wanted that, and I wanted that, but I was scared of whatever.
I went to Catholic school, so I understand
Yeah,
exactly what
okay.
you're saying.
So, and at that time, you had to be 16 with your parents' signature to get married. So we changed the number. My birth was 41, and they changed it to a 0, and the clerk knew when we got down there. He said, he said it had been tampered with. So I couldn't even tell you, he couldn't get into it. But my mother gave him $5 to let it go through, because she was scared we might that I might get pregnant. So I wasn't pregnant. I just wanted to be grown and didn't have any intelligence, because I had a feeling of rejection, not by them, but by kids teasing us, saying we ain't sisters, and we, you know, and not knowing not being brought up with my other brothers and sisters. But after I became an adult, me and my brothers and biological brothers and sisters, we have a good relationship even today. And my siblings, you know, we began, you know, we got engaged, and so my older sister, she died, but me and her children are close. So, you know, we're a family. We're a family, with the exception of I have one daughter that she just has a whole lot of, anyway, a lot of hate.
Mr. Miller, would you like me to go into what you assigned me to do, because we've already started there?
Yeah, why don't we go there?
So I work with Mr. Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
mentoring me. I'm very grateful.
Oh,
so,
you knew.
Not too new, but
Oh.
not as good as this wonderful man here in how he does his job. So I'm newer than him, so I get to do all the travel.
There you go.
But so the forgive me if I'm confused.
Okay.
You've explained a lot of it, so and thank you for that. Stops with you at a certain time in Florida.
Okay.
So, which you've explained.
Okay.
Which it takes me a little, I have to look at my notes. This is all my open cases right now, but let me pull a file. And, because I had some questions, like I said, you answered a lot of it. So, what we didn't understand was explain that he was adopted by
Well, not legally.
Right.
Like given away.
Right. Someone cared for him when you had a time of
And you
need.
wonder what I did with the money.
Well, that's just a simple
Well, that's-
question. What?
I mean, you know.
Tell me. I mean, you asked the question
And
to
that's
yourself. What did you
ultimately-
do with them?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Can I put this back in my pocket?
Yes.
Of course.
I don't want to get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not intimidated by anything. It's just, like I said, it just brings back memories.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't feel like y'all doing anything wrong or harassing me or, I mean, when things come
Oftentimes
up,
there's
you
a
have
good
to.
explanation for
Yeah.
everything, so
And
that's
when
why.
people say things, and I kind of know who all this came from.
Well, we'll get to that.
I mean, I do. I mean, you know, I mean, well, you know.
I think we're of like mind, so we'll probably.
Because I know what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, I think I know what you've been dealing with. So, who made the arrangement for?
That was between my dad and the elder at the church. And my decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Who specifically found the family from the church?
Oh, his name was Elder Adam and Elder Joseph. My dad was Elder Joseph Bobo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Adam's last name? And that's part of why I'm confused, because the names, there's a lot, like in the records, there's Brother Adam, but I don't know his last name.
Oh, I got you.
So, because we deal with a lot of last names
Okay.
as investigators, so. Adam was who?
He was an elder in the church.
In his last?
Paul.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
but he was an elder in the church, and my daddy was an elder in the church, and my brother Jonah was a pastor in the church.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have here, he was born in Florida, right? Yeah. It says, waking up in Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have his birth record,
Yes,
and it
ma'am.
says here that so he was born to you and Jonah, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so he was born on April 1st, 1986. So around what year? I want to say adopted. I know it wasn't legal.
Mm-hmm.
Around what year would he have been adopted? He was born in 86 to you as his mother.
Right. Let's see. When they ask me that question, I'm trying to think
So
of it.
he's born in 1986, and so he would have been adopted, understanding it's not a legal adoption, that someone was helping care for him.
Mm-hmm.
Around what year do you think that Jonah passed? And you said 88?
89, near the end of March is when he died. Maybe the end of 88 or around 89. Somewhere between the latter part of 88 and somewhere around, because I know it wasn't long after Brother John had passed. And I know he passed in 88. Mm-hmm.
And so...
I can't pinpoint whether it was the latter 88 or around 89, somewhere in there.
So you were the biological mother, Jonah was the biological father, correct? And then you didn't know who the adoptive parents were for Moses?
It wasn't no adoption like that. It wasn't no legal adoption.
Right, people who cared for him.
Yeah.
So you never met them, you said?
Beg your pardon?
You never met them?
No, I never met them. And it wasn't no birth mother like me. Mm-hmm.
You're his birth mother or natural mother or not?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Do you know who you adopted him?
Yeah, I don't know. I never knew who his birth mother was. Me and Brother John, we never knew who his birth mother was.
Oh.
You don't say that.
Because it says here from the nurse that she observed.
The nurse,
Notarized letter from nurse Sandra.
What's her last name?
Sandra Medina?
Oh, okay. I know you're talking.
Saying she helped deliver.
Yeah, well, she might have done that, but I didn't birth him.
Okay.
She just did
So,
it.
now I'm confused.
Well,
Where did both?
I
See,
don't,
this is why
I understand what
I was
you're,
taking notes, because I was telling Mr. Miller, I'm sorry, but I'm a little confused. And he said, well, you come in and you can ask the questions when we do the audit, so I'm sorry if I'm so simple,
no, it's a confusing situation. It's a confusing situation because we wanted a child, we got the child and everything like that as a baby, as an infant, little child, as a little boy rather. And we signed the papers and everything, then the legal terms and everything like that through her, which was a nurse.
Okay, so through this, how did that come to be?
I don't know. And that was something that she did for us.
Okay.
Mhm. And that was I think he was maybe close to 2 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, she signed the paperwork in March of '88, so that would have been a couple of years. So he was 2 when you got him. So he was
Something like
probably a
that.
cute little guy.
I think so. And a sweet little baby. Real smart too.
So Brother Adam, so Adam Poe, you said?
Mhm.
And that's his real name or his church name? Because that's the other part. It confused me. Everybody had different
Well,
names.
everybody, what happened, everybody, because it was, I can't remember. I cannot remember. I really can't.
You don't know what his real name was?
I don't know what they called, what he was, because I don't know anything about his parents or
Right.
anything.
Now, how about Adam? Brother Adam, is Adam his real name? Or is
That was
because
his
it's a
church
name?
That was his church name. That's what, he called himself. Because, okay, the kind of ministry that was down there was more like a ministry, all kind of people, drug people, all kind of people used to come in there, and we would make them clothes and give them food. It was like a shelter type ministry.
And I talked to some people down there because of
Well, I asked you to run fine.
when he assigned me to go down there, and I heard about the church
Mm-hmm.
and how you ministered to a lot of people in need in the area. So, and there were a lot of children that lived there that needed your help and needed ministry.
No, they didn't.
No?
It wasn't a lot of children. It wasn't children that lived there, but it was children that parents came there, for the school, because it was a school. It was a church school there. It was a church school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the ground.
I see.
It
Did they
was a
live?
church.
People said they live. I'm so glad I'm talking to you because I was so confused.
Well, some of the
Talking
parents.
to everybody.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Let me
No,
let you ask your question.
No, so explain that. And so going back to him, so there were people caring for him, and I think, didn't you have a question how? Now you said you gave money to the caregivers, correct?
No, not directly to the caregivers. I gave money to Elder Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, to give to the person because I didn't want to be dealing with that or anything like that,
So Elder Adam.
But I didn't do it up until he was 18 because I lost contact with Elder Adam also. So I didn't use the money, but I just kept the money.
Okay, that helps me understand a little bit some of these gaps that always happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can understand you have a beautiful boy, a child you adopted. You said you got him, and he's become yours.
Yeah, me and my husband, because he wanted, oh, I'm sorry, let me shut up, I'm sorry. No, I'm talking while you trying to think, and then that interferes.
I'm just trying to reiterate what I'm hearing so that we're all on the same sheet. Unfortunately, your husband, Jonah, passed, and it was very hard for you, and so the best to take care of him. Not Joy. I think Joy was still with you, you said.
Joy was still a child.
Yeah.
She was just 10 when her dad died. So I'm trying to, yeah, she was 10 when her dad died.
So
I remember that.
you gave Moses, who you didn't know.
I believe she was a loving lady because I
trusted.
Yeah.
The elder who said that she would take care of you.
Yeah. Myself, I was just going through too many psychological changes myself, and Brother John had wanted a son, and I couldn't have any more children. Our last child was Joy, and so, that's why I was speaking, to the nurse, and she was part of the church too. She was in the ministry of the church.
Did you name him Moses?
We agreed on it, so I can say we did.
Because of like the real Moses who.
And his parents was drug people or something. We had a lot of drug people coming in and said this was supposed to be a drug.
And that's what I found out, and there were, now, I've spoken to Thomas. Is that, trying to have him explain to me, because I ran into some people who knew him, sort of. He's on the officers of the church, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm so confused. I'm so sorry. But,
no, you ain't got to apologize to me, because you're talking to different people. When you talk to different people, you're going to get confused.
Yeah.
Because everybody got a different memory or a different story.
A different experience.
I know that was my own experience.
Adam was his father, correct?
Yeah, Thomas's.
Okay. So I adopted by you and Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
Legal adoption.
Well, it was.
You said you signed legal.
I guess to me it was legal.
Okay. And then you gave him to a caregiver through Elder Adam. Is that how?
And Elder Joseph. Yeah.
And Elder Joseph, who was your father.
Mm-hmm. That's how I remember everything. Yeah.
Mr. Miller, is that?
I wish I would have known all these questions. Maybe I could have helped a little better if I would have known. If I would have known it was about all of this. I didn't know it was
who's related and who is not, and who's it gets complicated because.
Yeah, well, now it don't sound like what I thought it was. It sounds more like.
Is it making sense now? It's because how we are confused when you see a name and then there's not a name in the Social Security record.
Yeah, because everything probably, like, I've changed, I've had a different Social Security number too. And so people, and, my kids have had different Social Security numbers too. My children that's living now have had,
Joy's changed.
Yeah, they've had different Social Security. My daughter Terry and my son Kevin, they've all had different Social Security numbers. So I understand how you saying that. So perhaps whoever have him or whatever how would he be now? He would be in his 20s. He probably got a different, whatever, I don't know.
Have you not seen him?
I haven't seen any of them. No, I haven't seen Brother Thomas or any of them in years and years and years.
So if I want, in your opinion, what would be the best way to find him?
I don't know. Like I told you, how would I know when I don't know the person? I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know anything.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were still in touch with people from the church from back then.
No, I'm not in touch with anybody from the church. Only one person, he calls me every now and then, but he was a person that was on drugs and everything, so I don't even know he wouldn't know, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't know anything, you know, other than Brother Thomas now, something like that, but, I mean, it was just something that I didn't want to, I never did associate with it, you know, I never went back to, they moved to another state, and I just never had any real communication with people, you know, from the other place. Yeah, I just never chose to deal with any of that.
Maybe, you know, this at the time was that Elder Adam and Elder Joseph helped you out by placing the impression in Florida at the time. Was it someone local they had placed?
I was living in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were caretakers, you gave some money?
Yeah, yes, I did.
So did you get the sense that maybe most Florida, what, with his new family?
No, I didn't get no sense about nothing.
No one way or another?
I didn't even try to get no sense about nothing.
Yeah, but
I was
sometimes,
just dealing with,
people do. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying, at that time, all I was dealing with my selfish pain. I was just dealing with my pain, and I was dealing with how to get away from there.
Sure. And
I didn't want to be part.
This is a good solution, given your good experience with your not bio mother who raised you. So I'm
just saying, I didn't want no memories of anything there, because all the time we was there, we was dealing with the police, we was dealing with investigations, we was dealing with stuff all the time, because we had people. I'm sorry.
You kind of caught me off guard there. You were dealing with cops.
Well, I shouldn't say all the time. Well, I mean,
because of what?
because people we let come there. We let different people come there.
The drug people.
Like I told you, it was like a shelter, and people that had needs, women had needs, men had needs, and sometimes they had children and different things like that. But we didn't have no lot of children there. It was just 2 children there, 3 children with Joy, you know, periodically. But we had a little school there, so different people came, but their children left. They didn't just live there. They came in and out like that. And some of the people that came there didn't live there either. People was coming there for food, and, you know, we had a food pantry, worked for the, you know, when they had those government food, y'all are young, but they used to have government food pantries where if you work in the food pantry, they would donate food to the church, and they would donate the cheese and all that kind of stuff, you know. And so we would go around to people's homes, seeing if they need different things and stuff like that, you know. So a lot of things, when people, you know, people knew we kept people, so a lot of people would say they probably out there or whatever, or if somebody saw something out there concerning, you know, different people, you know, then they would come there looking for them. So we had that kind of interest.
Yeah, and being from Florida and having to go look at this stuff, one of the first things we do is pull all the police reports. So I know what you're talking about. People were making calls. I mean, I saw a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, just recently, my daughter, I have 2 daughters, and one of my daughters, she was investigated by the FBI because of some stuff that somebody in my family said. So it's a lot of stuff that I've had to deal with down through the years. You know, I even went to jail. A lot of stuff I've had to deal with. Yeah.
Let me just clarify something here that's on my mind. You were giving money, the money, you were receiving that, and you were passing that on to Elder Adams?
Yeah, I did for a period of time.
Okay, and that was to help out, obviously, with the boy, or the expenses for the boy.
Mm-hmm.
When did you stop providing that money?
Oh, Lord. I know maybe after 4 or 5 years, something like that.
4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you did that consistently every month for 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And so you would give him cash, and you would take the cash, or did you do it?
I don't know how he did it, but I would have it, because I was having my money deposited in an account, and the money was being taken out of my account.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So maybe that's where the two accounts come from now. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking now, because things come back to your mind as you keep asking me questions and everything. But I do know that I didn't continue doing that I didn't continue doing it all the time, because like when you said, did I get a letter or something saying, and all like that, I never got a letter like that. But I do know that I didn't always give all of that money.
Okay.
So that's a fact. That's the truth.
Okay. I'm going to show you a letter here. I just want you to tell me if you got this letter.
Yeah, I think I got a letter like this for Joy and him.
Yes, you would have. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe I got a letter. I don't believe I got a letter. Okay, yeah, because I remember that post office box there. But I do remember that I got something showing no more money would be allowed for both of them.
Because when they turn 18, it stops. When the child turns 18.
Yeah, well, I do remember letting me know that it was going to stop. I do remember that.
But you were getting it deposited into that account up to that point, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. And for the first, I think you said about 4 years after he left, you were giving the money to Elder Adams to give to the family, taking care of them.
I was giving it to Elder Adam, and I did, and then I'm just trying to make sure about Sandra. Yeah.
Sandra. You said Sandra.
She was the one that let us get the child.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So was it her child?
No, it was a person that had a problem with drugs.
Okay. That's right. You mentioned Sandra a minute ago, right?
It was a person that had a problem with drugs and everything like that, and the drug person wasn't in the church, but Sandra was in the church, and Brother Jonah, we just be talking stuff about it. We wish he had a boyfriend. I don't. Some things I, not too long ago, found out from one of my daughters, because I have one daughter that was born by Brother Jonah, and her name is Joy. The rest of my kids wasn't born by him, and so but through stuff she done dug up, he had 5 other daughters, and so he wanted a boy. He wanted a boy, because I knew he had 3 daughters, but I didn't know about 5. But and that was before. That was before he married me. But I did know he had 3 daughters, which was one of them you mentioned, Melinda, and he had one named Rhonda. But I think I'm not sure, but I think when he died, Rhonda was already an adult. So I don't think I'm not sure. I don't know if she got Social Security or not. So go ahead.
When you obviously gave your son to this family, did you give them the Social Security card that you had received for him?
I don't remember. I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember. I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't think so, because I'm the one that applied for Social Security. I applied for Social Security for Joy, him, and myself. I did not apply for Melinda.
Right.
Because I only saw her about 3 times in my life.
And because she was being cared for by another person.
Melinda
was, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You were responsible for
Joy. Yes, sir.
Okay. And Joy stayed with you.
Joy did stay with me until she got married when she was 18, and she stayed with me all that time.
Okay. But most with you,
He was only with me for a couple of years, maybe, something like that. I can't remember the time.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a long time ago.
Yeah, and understanding, when we run his social security number, we can't find it. We're trying to find it.
yeah.
So we can't find it.
Yeah.
We found the others very easily with their social
Yeah.
security numbers and their work history and everything, but we couldn't find any work history for him or any other names that he went by. And that's why it was making it difficult trying to find him.
Well, I don't know if they changed his name or if they got a different ID. I don't know. But I know that I'm the one that was getting, I don't know if they were getting, but I know I was getting Social Security.
And
That's a fact.
for the money that you received after you stopped sending him the money, how did you use that money?
I used it in taking care of my family, me and my kids. Because I just got married again about 5 years ago. Joy is almost 40 now, 39.
And now obviously that would be an issue with Social Security because you understand
Yeah.
if you're the payee for someone, that child's got to be in your care. And if he's not in your care, then Social Security might look at that as an overpayment. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
What else would you have,
So,
Ms. Leslie, that I was asking you to
trying
take
to
care of?
find-
Yeah.
It didn't pop up under, what we normally would see looking at people on our computers. And so you've explained that. We still need
To my best of my knowledge.
Right. And so, I know Mr. Mose. Yes, I guess it would be a Mr. now, wouldn't it? Instead of child.
Wow. I mean, he would be a adult. I
He'd be
know.
almost
He would be a
29 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anyone from what you can think of that might help me find him?
No, I mean, I don't think everything I've told you is all I know.
And I mean,
I
told you.
I don't have, what I'm trying to tell you is that after I left there, I moved. After I left there, I have no contact with anybody there other than another church in Citra. I visit them, but they don't, they weren't, it was just, that's the only place I visit, and a mother home. I visit mother homes in Florida, and I visit that church in Florida. I visited mother homes about 6 years ago, but then I visited her funeral. And then the other thing, let me see, and then I went to the church in Citra about 3 years ago, but they didn't, they weren't invited, it's just people that but I don't have no family in Florida. I don't have no, associates in Florida, and the people that I knew a lot that was in our church, they moved all the way to Mississippi.
Right.
The few people that I, and I haven't seen them in over at least almost 25 or more years since my husband died. So I don't have no contact with
Right. I was wondering if
I
you
just
could give
went
me
on.
a tip as to which way to go, but I understand.
Well,
But you can't if you haven't had contact with them.
Well, what happened, like I told you, I just went through a lot of mental stuff. So my brother Jonah, well, he's not my husband, but brother Jonah, he's buried down there. I just don't want to be bothered with nothing down there and all like that. And so then a lot of things happened. And so I got into a lot of different things that I didn't want to be bothered with and everything like that years later and everything like that. And so a lot of things I don't remember, but a lot of things I don't remember because I wasn't involved with them.
Right.
It wasn't anything. I mean, if I would have been calling and have him and blah blah this and that or whatever it was, it would be a different matter.
Right.
But I didn't have no relationship with anything or anything that occurred or happened as far as he was concerned. I just had a desire not to have to be responsible for that. So the thing that only thing I can see is what I probably what I did wrong, but I never got a paper like you saying, do I use the money for this? But I do know that I was getting money and the child wasn't in my care. I do know that, and I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, I'm 75, so I ain't ready to be going, whatever I have to deal with, that's what I have to deal with. I'm at a time in my age that I feel like whatever I have to go through, I have to go through, and so that's what I've accepted, But I mean, I've kept y'all here long because, like I said, when I came here, I wasn't expecting this.
Well, normally, from my experience, because we work on a task force together, I'm learning from him. My experience is that, when you have these names. And
no, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, when he called, when I got the letter and everything like that, I know about alerts because I've dealt with that before. I dealt with that before. So I just thought I was just going to be coming in here proving who I was. That's why I thought he asked for this.
Sure.
But I didn't know I was going to be going through some type of investigation about this, that, and other. But I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying,
I'm not taking it that way.
If my reactions have not been the way y'all want it to be, it's because I wasn't expecting it to be this way.
Yeah, I wasn't either when I got involved with this. So to make it even more confusing, so my job is in Florida, and so I go out to start talking to people, and I call people on the phone, try and hold police reports and whatnot. So, in talking about your children...
Joy and other former members of the House of Prayer reported that Annie Young had convinced her followers that toddler Katonya Jackson was possessed by the devil. Young had led her followers in abusing and torturing Katonya until she began having seizures. While doctors insisted that Katonya needed medication, Young refused to allow her to take it. Eventually, Katonya passed away in 1983 from a seizure disorder. A medical examiner declared that her death had been preventable.
Totally sick, and then in a police report in Gainesville in the hospital.
Oh, I don't know her.
At the hospital.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
And her address was at...
That's not my child.
Okay.
Oh, no.
The police report says that somewhere here, I have to dig through it.
No,
it says that you were her mother, and they used... They put in the report Young. Because I even have... I even have her exam, and it says...
I'm trying to think of her mother.
See how confusing this was for me?
How confusing it's getting for me, too. No. Her mother...
What happened to this poor girl, by the way?
I know she had seizures. She used to have seizures. She was a little girl. And her mother lived there too. She lived there with her mother.
Oh, okay.
Both of them lived there together. But I'm trying to think of her.
Who was her mother?
I'm trying to think of her mother's name. But her mother's last name wasn't Young. But as her mother's name?
As that you were her mother.
Oh, no. No.
Maybe there was a misunderstanding.
I don't know what it was, but I'm not her. I wasn't her. I never, I only had two daughters.
Okay.
Joy and Terrence. Them are the only two daughters I birthed. I only had them. I know what you're talking about now. I know the little girl that you're talking about because she used to have seizures. And what they call grandma seizures. And I remember she got sick and took her to the hospital, because I went to the hospital with her, and she stayed in the hospital.
Okay.
But we didn't have we didn't have no problem with that, because whatever happened, they knew what kind of illnesses she had or whatever, But her mother, I can't think of, but I don't know how my name got on there.
Yeah, there's actually a report that says
No.
an investigation because it was suspicious. I guess she had bruises
Oh
on.
no, we didn't. They never. I never was investigated about her as far as bruises and that. Nobody never even talked to me about her. Or if they did, they didn't talk to me. Maybe they talked to somebody else, one of the brothers or somebody else there. But they never did confront me about her. But she was not my child. But that was another,
Another tragic situation. Yeah.
It sounded like.
So, from on face value, it looks like, well, there's all these kids. Because she's listed with your last name in the records.
But she's not my child,
Well,
and she's not.
And this is why Mr. Miller said, well, you come on up and you can ask her face to face. So that's always the best way.
Well, I don't know who. I mean, anybody knows she wasn't none of my child. I mean, I never had another child.
Okay.
I never had.
Us the list.
But I mean, I gave you the list, but if you looking at something else, you're gonna choose to believe what you want to believe.
Right.
And I it don't make me no difference what you believe about that paper. I know that I did not birth that child, but I do know that she got sick and she went to the hospital a couple of times. And I remember they put her on some medication, but her mother was living right there. Her mother was there, and I just can't think of her mother's name.
While we're chatting, if it pops up, just let me know, because that would help
Well,
me.
if it pop up, I could tell, whatever's going to happen, I'll let you know anyway. Because sometimes you can go get in your car and then come back or whatever.
You've got my number, you've got the letter, it's got my number on it, you can
I
call me.
didn't give you that letter back.
No, ma'am, I left it with you. No. I wasn't involved with her as far as a parent.
So,
was
she living at the church?
Her mother and her came there because her mother had a need at that time. She was going through some changes, and anyway, she came there, and her mother was there, and her mother was, there doing everything that happened as far as her being sick and stuff,
So who tended to her when she'd get sick?
Her mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her mother stayed there.
She lived on the property.
She lived there. It wasn't like we was keeping children for other people. We weren't keeping children for other people. It was only one child there. She was a teenager. She came in and went to school. Okay. That was the only one. Yeah. And her.
Was it just her and the mom?
That lived there?
Mm-hmm.
No.
As a family? I mean, was there a father?
No. It wasn't. I don't know if she was married or not.
Any other siblings?
She had a son.
And who was the brother?
I can't remember her name.
Maybe he knows the real last name. Do you remember brother?
I don't remember hers or his last name. If I remember her
I
last
have something in my file though.
Yeah.
That'll tell me who that is.
Yeah.
I'll find it in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little disorganized, but I'm working on it. The last person that came up as a possible child of yours was...
I can't believe my memory is this bad. No, I don't remember that one. But I remember.
So, and I can't imagine why they would put your name there. What was your involvement?
Well, I was married to the pastor, Brother John. I was.
But no direct contact, or you did have direct contact?
Well, I mean,
She was little, yeah.
I had contact with everybody there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You didn't, like, care for her as a baby, or did you?
Oh, no, I didn't know her. She came there, she didn't come there like an infant. She might have been a toddler or something like that, but not as an infant. Yeah. But
he didn't have any last name associated with him.
I don't even. Mm-mm.
I looked for some of my stuff to see.
I wish all this stuff would have came up when I was younger.
So, here's...
Man, because I don't remember. No,
So none of these people are your children, just these people?
Yeah,
right?
no, I don't know. I mean,
No.
I. But I remember her because I remember her having those they call them grandma seizures. I remember that. And I remember going to the doctor, taking her to the doctor with her mom.
Okay, so
and
your involvement was, on that level.
I was there. I cooked, I made clothes. I was part of. I helped with everybody there. Had chores and stuff to do.
Well, and I've talked to several people. So they said you were really the spirit of the church.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's.
And you pretty much kept everybody together, and you ran everything, and then you.
No, I didn't run.
You kept everybody.
No, the men mostly
together.
ran everything.
Right.
But I dealt
obviously,
with yeah. But I didn't teach the school or none of that kind of stuff. I didn't do that. The men done that. My husband done that, and the men and stuff like that. But I did. I kept cooking. I did the grocery shopping. I kept the cooking, and stuff like that. And I was part of the ministry with other people.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And
I wonder why all this stuff didn't come up, because I dealt with this stuff before.
Well, I could tell you how it came up.
Okay.
And I was hoping not to make you angry, but
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me tell you something.
Because you're a nice lady, and I don't want to make you angry.
How are you going to make me angry?
Well,
You're telling me the truth.
Well, that's how I feel. I think the truth, as they say, the truth will set you free.
You're not going to make me angry.
Well,
I may feel hurt like I've been feeling for the last week.
And you alluded to it while we were talking here, and so I feel that I have a duty to share with you, because you're probably wondering, well, who did I talk to, right? Because I said I talked to.
No, I wasn't wondering who you talked to. I was just listening to you.
Okay.
I haven't been wondering.
You talked about having struggles with some of one of your children.
I'll name the child. You want me to name her? Do you mind?
Go ahead.
Joy Fluker. That's my daughter.
I had a conversation with her in asking about,
Tell you how all this stuff happened with her.
I mean, I heard some
horrific things.
Yeah.
I've been getting calls here and there and everything. Well, the only thing I wasn't aware of was associating that letter with her, But my daughter was. My daughter Chance was, because they had, it's just, you got time to listen?
Oh, yeah, I won't.
Okay. All right. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable because when you have children, you love all your children.
Yes, and I do.
Okay. It's something, when Joy, when her dad got killed, before he died, I had I was able to do a lot of things with Joy that I wasn't able to do with all my children. So I let her be my comfort. I did. when she was in school, if she did something wrong and her dad put her in the corner, I would be mad at him. Why are you embarrassing her in front of the class? So I made mistakes in more or less letting her idolize me.
Can I interject just to tell you that she said you were a wonderful mother?
No, let me finish.
Okay, I just want to put
No.
that out there.
I don't doubt that at all.
Okay.
I don't doubt that
I'm
at all.
sorry.
No. I don't want you to apologize for anything because I'm not going to.
Okay.
You know,
Good.
I'm not going to apologize for anything other than the things that's true.
Okay.
Other than things that's true. So I know Joy idolized me. And I know that she can't say anything other than that. But I also know that she has a twisted, variable mind about things. And I know why she's speaking like she's speaking now. You don't know, but I do know. So, Joy, I mean, like I said, I don't want to talk about her in a bad way, but I still got to tell the truth. She, when Joy was a teen, Joy always caused me a lot of trouble at the church because different boys and stuff were coming in and Joy would have a relationship with them, even with the. So it was discipline, it was physical discipline in the church. You know, the brothers, I never administered the discipline myself because I let the brothers, they dealt with that type of thing, you know. I was always stand in the corner type person, sit down, time out type of person, you know. So Joy never did experience a lot of discipline or anything like that, you know, because I was always protecting her. So so when I had felt to leave the church, Joy, you know, went with me. And of course, her and me and my brother. I have a brother. And so my brother, after Brother Jonah died, my daddy had asked him prior to, would he help me raise her? Would he stand by me because Brother Jonah was dead, which my brother did. So anyway, we moved to a town called Albany, Illinois. And so in Albany, Illinois and everything like that, Joy got into a lot of messy stuff with boys. I was working and doing different things, being a caregiver. And Joy got into a lot of messy things with boys and stuff like that. So anyway, I dealt with all of that. And then she got pregnant by a real bad person. She had 2 kids by him. And so during that time with him, he was beating her and different things was going on. And I was dealing with that, me and my 2 brothers, because I had another brother to move down there, which he also died 3 years ago. But anyway, in the process of all Joy dealing with him, they got into a negative situation. Joy had, you know, I had talked her into divorcing him, but she still was messing around with him. She had a restraining order against him. But anyway, she was still messing around with him, and he came in one night, and they had an encounter, and make a long story short, she ended up going to prison. So while she was in prison, I took the 3 kids. But she had 3 kids. She was pregnant with 1 when she went into prison, but she had 2 by the father that she was married to. You may know this stuff already.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to just, you know. But anyway, so I took the kids and, you know, raised the kids. You know, raised them even after, you know, because she wanted to get her master's degrees, she wanted to get her doctor's degrees. So, you know, I helped her do all of this, keeping the kids all the time. And keeping the kids all the time whenever she needed me, no money, no nothing, buying their clothes, taking care of them. That's part of what I do with them. Money on her children, taking care of her children. So anyway, make a long story short, so every time something, if me and her had a disagreement, I'd be saying, Joy, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, if, you know, about her lifestyle and different things, or things that the kids would tell me down through the years, then it would be I couldn't see the kids, I couldn't have anything to do with the kids. But when she needed me, you know, it was a different thing. So this has been going on for years. So finally I told her last year, the end of last year rather, it was the end of last year. I told her, I said, Joy, I'm not keeping your kids anymore. You know, I'm tired of going back and forth and everything. But one of the major arguments we had all the time was about her son, Kobe, her youngest son. Not her youngest son. the youngest son that I kept. She has another one that's 4 years old. Our husband, she married to now. But Kobe, I got him when he was 2 weeks old because that's when she went into prison. So he was like my baby. Yeah. So anyway, of course the kids was very close to me and everything. So I got tired of her every time. If the kids, even if it wasn't, if the kids was on a punishment at home, they couldn't see me because when they came to my house, all the things that she wouldn't allow them to have, they could have, like food, go in the refrigerator. I take them to the store and then about. So that was always something that they would be saying, Gwami, let me have. They call me Gwami. Gwami, let me have this. You know how kids and how grandparents feel too. So anyway, so all the time I would always cater to Joy with the kids, cry. She would cuss me out, call me all kind of names and stuff like that, and accuse me of telling me I was a murderer, I was a this, I was a that. Those are things that she would say.
I've heard some of those things.
Yeah, she would say that to me. She would say that to me. So what happened, her daughter, her kids didn't want to stay with her. They wanted to stay with me. So when her daughter got 18, she was in her last year of high school. So she was legally able to come and stay with me. So her last year in high school, and Joy hated me, wouldn't even go to her child's graduation or anything like that because she blamed me for her child coming to live with me. So that was the beginning of this hatred thing, this malicious hatred thing. So anyway, got through the girl, but then she got into, me and my husband went on vacation, and while we was on vacation, she went somewhere, the 18-year-old, her Joy's daughter, she went somewhere, and she let my house be open to her friends that I never had met and know anything about. So she left my house in the care of her friends. So I found out they were smoking marijuana and all this kind of stuff. So when I came back, I told her, Joy's daughter, that I couldn't live like that. She couldn't live in my house doing those type of things, and it hurt me very deeply. So I called Joy up and asked Joy would she let her come back and stay with her. But Joy was glad for her to come back because she had been telling me all about how this girl was all the time. So she was glad that our relationship had been sealed to some extent. Excuse me. So anyway, after that incident, then Kobe, which is 15 years old now, she started having problems with Kobe. I mean, you can check the record up to the school where they went since you were an investigator. Because she had all kind of problems with her children. The one that's 20 now, he was in and out of jail, saying all kind of things at school. It's just been a mess with her and her children.
And I've seen all that.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, what happened? Kobe runs away from home. He calls me in the middle of the night, tell me he done ran away. He's hiding in some bushes up there down the street from where they live. So I go get Kobe, and I go get him, bring him to my house. Then I call Joy as soon as he gets to my house, and I tell her that he's there. So anyway, she said she's going to come and get him in the morning. Well, she was already been mad at me down through the years because Kobe's daddy pays child support, and he's been trying to see Kobe for years. So what I did, which she didn't know, all these years Kobe's daddy he would pay child support to her, but he would send gifts and stuff. When he would send them to Joy, she would send them back. She wouldn't want to have anything to do with this man because while she was in prison, he married another woman. She wanted him to come and live with me and raise her children, which he did not do because they was having all kind of problems. When she was wearing an ankle bracelet, the police had to come there. They was fighting and all this kind of stuff because he was living with her. So anyway, I gravitated to him because while she was in prison, he was paying child support, coming to see his son every month. He was a devoted father, still is. But what I did when she would get so angry and tell me I better not have nothing to do with him and this kind of stuff and everything like that, and she would always say, and I can tell stuff about y'all at the house of prayer because y'all was nothing but an occult. She would say that kind of stuff, to me. Well, I just ignored that kind of stuff because, like I said, we had been investigated. I had went through legal trouble myself and all like that. with another girl with some burnt marks from some putting washing powder.
Right,
in
I read
thing.
that, yeah.
So anyway, I had went
Two
through.
sides to everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had went through that. I actually went to jail.
Yeah.
I stayed in jail around 6 months or something like that in Florida. Yeah, but I was living in Albany when they moved me to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was arrested in Albany, but since the incident happened in Florida,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I went to court after 6 months, and they did away with all that stuff because it was all these accusations and stuff, and everything brought us in. But anyway, getting back to Joy. So what happened? I told Joy, I said, Joy, I said, all these years, I said, all you do is bring up stuff you don't know nothing about and all like that. I said, you're always threatening me, you're always trying. I said, you don't even know what you're talking about and all like that. So we went through that type of argument off and on. So when she came over that night to get Kobe and everything like that, her oldest son, Kobe was laying down in the bed, and her oldest son went in there and jumped on Kobe, started fighting him, and me and my husband went in there and broke it up. And so I said, Joy, I said, why don't you let Kobe go stay with his dad? I said, because this is just a mess. I said, let him go stay with him for a few months and see how that is. I said, but if you don't do that, at least let him visit him. I said, let's visit. You just wanted to, she used the sex word in the street way, in the nasty way.
Wow.
And she said, even my husband and Kobe's daddy said that they could have sex with you, but she didn't say sex. She used it in a nasty way. And you ain't nothing but a murderer. You ain't nothing but a whore. She said all that to me in front of her kid. So when she said that, I lost it. And I grabbed her, and we fought. And my husband broke us up. My husband and her oldest son, actually. He got involved, too. And I was trying to get her to leave because we had physical fights down through the years, me and Joy. I was in my room praying on my knees. She'd come in there saying this and that. It's just been bad blood. So anyway, what happened after that incident, she, my husband told her to leave, and I told her, I said, Joy, you get out of my house and all like that. So then after that, she wanted me to keep her baby because she was going to Detroit on her job. I said, no, I'm not keeping you. I'm not having anything to do with your kids because I'm tired of you calling me a murderer. I said, you trust me to keep your kids, but you say all these evil things about me and all like that. So anyway, I refused her phone calls, her messages. She would send me all kind of nasty, threatening messages and saying she was going to do this and she was going to do that and everybody was going to go down with her. She'd been in prison and everybody else should be in prison too, and all that kind of stuff. And so a couple of weeks ago, my daughter told me the FBI called her and investigated her based on some things that Joy had said.
Yeah, it explains a lot. It was, contacting Joy was just kind of like kicking a hornet's nest,
So her hate. So what happened? What really stinged her hatred up was that his father used to constantly send him gifts and stuff, birthday cards, Christmas cards. But he sent an email, and everything Kobe used to do, he used to leave it at my house. But for some reason or another, he took this email home. And Joy found the email. So that's when her real hatred stirred up for me because she found out that all these years I was letting Kobe be in contact with his dad. So it's like we all of us need to be in prison. My daughter, all of us need to be in jail because this, that, and the other. And like I said, I refused to have anything to do with her. And then the second bombshell was this. Kobe ran away that time. That's when me and her had to fight. Then she puts Kobe in one of those private schools. She put him in a private school paying $2,800 a month because her husband works 2 jobs. And then she got an excellent job too. So she puts him in this private school. He runs away from the private school. I go and get him again. When he run away, he went he was gone for 2 days, and the police was looking for him. I didn't know where he was, or nobody, for 2 days, didn't know that. So on the third day of his absence, where he was staying at, the lady, she didn't want to get in trouble with the law because she found out that he was reported as a missing person. So she told him that he had to leave. So he called me and told me he was at the bus station downtown because that's the only place he could sleep. He's 15 years old. So I went down there and got him a bus ticket and sent him to his dad. But I called his dad and told his dad, as soon as he get there, to call my daughter, Joy, so that she would know where he was. Because I was thinking maybe now she'll let him stay with his dad because that's who he wanted to be with. So when he would come to my house, I would let him talk on the phone, you know. So he's always, known his dad. And 4 years ago, see, his dad, he was doing things wrong. He was trying to negotiate with Joy all these years. So 4 years ago, he came down here and filed for visitation rights and everything like that. And Joy hired a lawyer, and all that. And now she didn't have another lawyer. Now she's saying Kobe ain't his child to try to get, So all I can say is that she's a revengeful person. She's vicious. She's been like that as a little girl. She used to tell stories and stuff about the church and people in the church telling me stuff and all like that.
I think I've heard most of that.
So she's a real vicious person, and I'm her mother.
I know. I'm
her biological mother. I prayed to have her because I thought I had fibroid tumors. I thought I wasn't going to be able to have any more children. That's how we got. Couldn't have no more children. But she's used all these different things to use them like it's like we didn't murder kids, we didn't this and that didn't happen, and blah blah blah. So this is where this is all coming from. And like I said, anything with I know legally, that's wrong to been taking that money and using it, and all like that. But the rest of the stuff, Joy wasn't even born. But she speaks it like she knows this happened and that, and then all of a sudden, all these things, all of a sudden, she ain't been saying nothing about them all these years. And all of a sudden, when your mother tells you she's through with you, absolutely through, and she'll just wait till your kids to go to get 18 to deal with. Then this is when she started doing this hate stuff against everybody.
So with your permission, what I would like to do is just address the things that she threw out there and get them done with. Is that okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, like I said, I didn't know I was coming here for this, but since I am, I know I'm gonna have to deal with the Social Security thing because, I don't feel like I'm getting ready to die, but I do want to have a clean slate. So since this came up, whatever I have to do, pay back whatever I have to do, that's what I have to do. So I'm not here to try to, God knows the truth. I can lie to y'all, but one thing about it, God in heaven knows the truth. And I don't want to be separated from God. Whether it's a hell or whatever it is, I don't want to be separated from God. So I'm just telling you, which I wouldn't be telling you if you hadn't brought these things. If Joy got sick, I'd be the first person to have that now. I still love my daughter, but I hate
what she's doing.
The way she was coming up as a child with the kids in the church and everything else. And some things happen at the church as far as physical discipline. It did go too far. Now that little girl there that she was talking about, she did have a medical issue. She had. They called it at the time grandma, and I remember they put her on medication. I didn't like the medication. Her mother didn't like it because she used to, I forgot the name of that medication, but she used to just stare. They put adrenaline, wait a minute, what's the name of it? I almost got it in my mind, but it was a medication that calms them down.
So was she on the medication?
She was on the medication, but she had a bad seizure, and she went to the hospital. I don't know how many days she was in the hospital, but whatever it was, that's where she passed that, in the hospital.
So you said there was discipline there at the church. describe that.
Okay, it's just like, I remember one discipline, Joy and this little boy had sex, you know, and they had found out about it. So the boy got a whooping, and Joy got her privileges taken away from her. She didn't get the physical whooping, but he did. You know, I remember that, you know. So that's what I'm talking about.
So who would be in charge of the physical discipline?
Well, wasn't nobody like, you know.
Who did the whooping?
Well, my husband did the whooping. I didn't do the whooping. I whipped my own kids now. I'm telling you the truth. I whipped they behind. But there I didn't have to deal with that because it was, you know, the brothers, they dealt with that, and the sisters dealt with the girls if it was anything, you know. And that's the way I dealt with my girls when they got a certain age. My husband didn't deal with the girls. And so I remembered, you know, my husband whipped him. Brother Thomas, Elder, you know, different ones, you know, it wasn't, you know, like a certain person assigned or anything like that, but it wasn't like somebody trying to kill somebody or murder somebody or anything like that, you know, because Joy had said down through the years, I can get you there. She used to say, I wish we still had the house of prayer so my kids could be raised there and all those goody things, but something has happened to her in her codependency, idolatry, and everything of me. And, you know, just this is real person. This ain't none of your business. But you could check it out if you want to. My husband and I met my husband in Alton about 20 years ago. And he was married. When I met him, he was married. And so I was still in the church. So I didn't want to have no relationship with him. But he was my... he was an insurance man over the church, you know, insurance and people 401k, all that kind of stuff. He was into that. So I wanted some life insurance. So that's how I met him. And so we got to talking and everything like that. And I had an affair with him. And I felt so bad, I confessed it. And I never had anything else to do with him. But Joy, she knew, you know, I mean, I was just silly and stupid. I confide things in Joy and tell her stuff.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, I'm just
recognizing
telling you.
What we do.
Well, I'm just telling you the truth. I confided things in Joy like she was my buddy.
Right.
Some things I shouldn't have, but I did. And so, anyway, she was about 16 or 17 then, during that time. And so anyway, you know, when she got in all the trouble and everything, and my stuff had ceased, then I, you know, went back there to help her, and then I got her kids and moved down here to Georgia. So I hadn't seen this man in almost 15 years, and I was going to visit her in prison and ran into him on the road. Praise the Lord. That's how I, you know, met him again. So during that time and everything, I didn't want to engage with him, and so I didn't. I didn't. So, but I knew some of his relatives, his aunt. So sometime when I would be coming through to visit Joy, I would stop and visit his aunt, and I would tell his aunt, don't let him know I came here. So one time I was going through, and she told me that him and his wife were divorcing, and they had separated and everything, you know. And so she said, can I give him your number now? So I said, yes. So she gave me a number. So we started talking on the phone. I didn't see him or anything. And so anyway, finally my kids, they was talking about, Mama, maybe, you know, you and him, y'all can make it. Well, Joy didn't want us to make it because what had happened, I had promised Joy. Joy got 2 properties. She's really doing good financially. So she had this big home, and I told her that I would sell my house or rent it out, and I would come out there and help her with her kids. And so she had the basement completely remodeled. But we was getting into it all the time about different things she was doing, you know, and I didn't like what she was doing. So I said, no, I better not go out there and move with Joy. She put me out in the middle of the night because I knew how she was. So I decided I wasn't going to go. So now this man is divorced from his wife. You know what Joy did? She went on the internet, found out all the information about his wife, and told his wife that me and him been going together all these years, and that he had bought me this house, which I haven't even seen him or anything. This is the way she is. You know, she's mad at me because I decided not to move in. She's telling me that she had everything set up for me because she wanted me to be her nanny, which she do have a nanny now, but she wanted me to be a free nanny. And stuff, but that wasn't why I didn't move in with her. But after I thought about it, I said, I know Joy put me out. So this is the way it's been. you know, ever since she was a little girl, she gonna get you one way or another. And she does it with her friends, and you can talk to my sons, you can talk to my children and all my family. Joy is the most vicious, revenge person that I have ever known, but she's smart. I'm talking about business smart and all that kind of stuff. And
she's a doctor, right?
She has a doctor's degree in information. That's why she go through, she spend her time trying to find stuff on people, her girlfriend. She don't keep no good relationship.
On the internet.
Yeah, she does all of that kind of stuff because she don't care who she hurt. She don't care who she hurt. And a lot of things she believes, and so she destroys, she changes this and she changes that back and forth. 1 minute she'll say this, 1 minute she'll say that. But it's all based on conditions and, you know, how she feels. So when I came here, I was here, but I'm not surprised about anything. So it's nothing you can tell me about my daughter Joy.
Go through
yes.
the list of things.
Go through the list of things because people have told. You'd be surprised at all the people that have called me that is Joy's friend. Yeah. They said she's told me horrific things. She told me things about Brother Moses.
You can tell me, you know, whatever you want to. And of course, just to tell you one thing, you. No matter what you say, you would not be under arrest today. You could walk out that door. I just want to be clear what our relationship is.
Well, I mean, this is where
you understand that?
I'm gonna tell you one fact.
But just so we're clear on that, right?
Well, let me get clear with you on me. This is where I'm at now. I'm 75 years old. It's people all over the world that have been put in jail and died in jail based on stuff like Joy say. So the authorities, they can believe what they want to believe, and they have a right to do what they want to do with me, what they want to do. All I'm concerned about now is having a relationship with God. So I don't feel threatened by Joy, and I don't feel threatened by you and Mr. Miller. So whatever y'all want to believe, whose side you want to believe, or what facts you feel you have to believe, that's what you are working for.
Someone says this and someone says this. I mean,
I'm just saying, I understand. Like when my daughter told me, she said, "Why are they calling me? I said, "Terrence, they the law. If somebody says something, they have to investigate it." So that's just the way it is. So I mean,
but Joy's clearly troubled.
I know it. Everybody has told me her best of friends have called me and told me she said horrific things.
So
go ahead.
Just get them over.
And they've told me what she said.
If you don't like them, you don't like what I'm saying. I think you're a strong woman, and I think you can handle it, and you've heard it. So I wasn't.
But you
saying
what you heard.
Exactly.
So I can't take it personal. I mean, I can't come against. Excuse me, I'm getting too loud. I get emotional. I'm sorry. Let me talk. No, I done got excited now because of this stuff. But I'm just saying, whatever you say is what you've heard.
Correct. And you're going to clarify
and you're just telling me.
Negate.
You're just telling me what you heard.
Exactly.
And probably everything you've heard, I've heard it too, because, like I said, Joy's dearest of friends, and a lot of these people have called me saying, "Why is she saying this?" Why, so anyway, that's...
Yeah, I toyed with whether I should bring it up to you or not, but I could tell when you were talking and you were alluding to your daughter, I said, oh, this is probably something we should clear up, because, I have a duty, if someone says something, to explore it, So the first thing was there's information which reported that there was excessive discipline of some of the children at the church in Micanopy, and that it was done at your request, even though the other people might have punished the children, that you were the person who told them to punish the children at the church.
Well, I take that from Joy saying that, because first of all, there wasn't nobody there under my power in other words, So a lot of things happened I didn't even know anything about. Some people were disciplined that I didn't even know anything about. I didn't even know they were disciplined. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. And I wasn't no kind of person where I could order. It wasn't nobody there that had mental issues or feelings that they're just going to do something because I said it. It was issues, it was things going on and everything like that. Now, I will admit this truth and everything like that. When I found out that Joy and this boy was having sex, and there was another little boy that came down, him and his mom, and another brother, which he lives in Atlanta. Now, he was at our church for a while too, But anyway, when I found out Joy was messing around with his stepson and all like that, I did say he needed to have his behind whipped because he was older than Joy, and I did say that. And Joy was so frantically supposed to be in love with this little boy. So I did say that. But all the other things that was done and all like that, it wasn't because I was the preacher or I was the authoritative person and all like that. It was not like that. We all worked together, as a team. We all tried to do things as a team. It wasn't like what Joy is saying.
You made me remember something I said earlier because we were talking about, and I said, I think I might know his name. I'll ask you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know someone with the last name?
He was her brother.
Okay.
Brother John was. I can't remember because we just used first names.
So does that help with the mother's name?
I can't think of her first name. But you know what? Okay. Her real name is what I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to think of. But we called her Sister Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that. But I don't remember her biological, birth certificate name.
So one of the things, and the reason I know the name is because one of the things reported was that what happened there, or if it happened, or would you tell me?
Well, it happened. I do know that he got a whipping.
Okay.
I do know that he got a whipping. I know Elder Adam whipped him.
Why do you whip him?
Because of this sex thing with Joy and him.
So that's what I was going to ask you next. Was that boy you're referring to him? That you?
It was him and another boy. Yeah, it was him and another little boy. Mm-hmm. Another bigger boy, rather.
And so, who made the decision to? You said. I'm sorry. Did you say who made the decision to? You said he got.
I said I'm with him. I said
with him, not you, but.
I'm trying to see what you're asking me.
Who made the decision to discipline brother?
No, I'm just telling you what I said. I said that he needed to have his behind.
Oh, okay.
I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that. But it wasn't like an order.
Right.
It was just a statement that I made. But I didn't say, you better whoop him. Yeah. You got to. I mean, wouldn't nobody ever listen to me? And I didn't have that kind. A lot of things would have went my way if I would have had that kind of authority. Please.
We all had that kind of authority. So, how about the issue of, you brought it up. You said that she.
She did.
And what did
she did? Because my daughter told Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say you.
But Jordan never said to me anything to my daughter because my daughter told me that the FBI came asking her. Yeah, but Joy ain't never said this way. Joy would talk to me and everything. You're a murderer. Like in anger. But she would never say you murdered this person or She never did name me murdering anybody.
But she did with me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
And she said that.
Joy had reported that her mother was responsible for the death of toddler Eamon Harper in the 1980s. According to Joy, Annie Young had ordered that Eamon be starved and beaten. Eventually, he passed away from the abuse.
How what?
And she said that he died there in Micanopy.
That's a lie. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. That's something that, why would she say that now when she ain't never said it before? Why, how does she know? Did she see somebody murder him? Did she see something? That you're not telling me? That you're not telling me?
Well, what she said was that she saw him being disciplined.
No.
And, you know,
he ain't never, I never saw him being disciplined, and I never disciplined him. That's a lie right there. I know that's a lie. Joy's just making up stuff to try to hurt us. For some reason or another, something has happened to her. I don't know if it's the vengeance that she grew up with as a child and all these different things, but Joy ain't never said nothing like that to me. She said, you are this, you are that, you're a murderer, you're this and that, but she never said anything about... Joy know good and well, she ain't never would have whipped a little child like that. I would know something about it. I would know something about it. I know about... I know that. Joy just lying.
And she said he's buried at the church.
That's a lie. That's... What? How can he be buried at the church and I don't know anything about it? How could that have happened? Joy is lying. I'm telling you in the name of Jesus. Well, that don't mean that because the worst person in the world say in the name of Jesus. So I ain't even, but I'm just saying people take Bibles to court and everything to try to prove they so goody. Joy is lying. God knows in the name, I'll say in the name, God, I'm not trying to use your name, but she is lying. Joy, do you know the way the relationship, you don't know, but I know as a parent, the relationship I had with Joy, if Joy would have known anything or seen, Joy would have been and told me this kind of mess. She would have been and brought this up to my face. She would have brought it up at the church. She would have said, because she wasn't the type of child to keep nothing to herself. She was always telling on folks, always trying to get people in trouble, and something that sick and satanic, she would have been glad to tell me or somebody else. Joy is lying. She ain't seen anything. She don't know what she's talking about. She's just making up stuff because she looks at all this crazy stuff and she believes what she thinks. Jordan lied on too many people, even in her own church that she go to now. She's lied on too many people and she's gotten too many people in trouble based on her lies and everything. The one thing I hate that I did, and that may be why, because when it's some things that Joy did to cause her to go in prison. But me, maybe I'm reaping what I sow, because I lied to do everything I could to keep my daughter from going to prison when I know what she had did, because she told me what she had did.
Yeah, there's no explaining certain things.
I mean, something that happened. She's telling me that this is something that
she observed him. Now you're what? Okay.
Never.
What?
He was real. That child couldn't have been no more than about 2, 3, something like that age. I ain't never whipped him. Wasn't no reason to whip him.
So,
Joy wasn't.
Did you ever withhold food or water from him, or did ever just? No.
You keep going.
Giving you the opportunity to tell me your side.
I didn't think she would go that low. To make up lies.
And
evil lies.
Was there ever like a timeout area for any of the little kids to,
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I would, like timeout is like you sit over there, or you stand in the corner, that kind of timeout. That was the timeout thing.
Was anybody, and were they ever left in a room alone when they were in timeout, or
in a room alone?
Any kind of little like area like this, or just by themselves, or in a little, like a storage room or something like that by themselves?
They might have been left but not where they could do any harm to themselves, not where they could hurt themselves. I mean, it might have been, I can't remember everything, but I can tell by how I am now and have been with some of my grandchildren. Like I have a little granddaughter now. even when she was 4 or something and all like that, I would say, you know, you sit in that chair, and I might go in the kitchen or go in the basement. So she would be, you know, but I wouldn't like leave her there for hours and hours. I would still check to make sure she was safe, you know. But
So you never would have put, or, you know, I'm just gonna ask, would you have put someone in a closet, for instance, in a timeout?
No, I didn't never do anything like that. Never. I didn't put Joy or any of them in no closet. I never did anything like that. No. I wouldn't have no, when children are little, there's too many other ways, you know, to deal with them. I mean, even with my grandchildren and everything like that, there's different ways that I deal with them, but it's more or less, you can't have this, or you can't have that, and then sometimes they say they want to go home, and I say, yeah, and I want you to go home too. Want me to call your parents up? You know, that kind of conversation, you know, with them and everything like that. But Joy, I'm going to tell you something. Part of the real discipline, I didn't deal with the real discipline, and I didn't order nobody. I don't believe nobody would have listened to me order anything evil like that for the risk of getting their own self in trouble.
Sure.
You know, and everything. But like I said, I mean, I know that brother, when the incident happened and, you know, Joy had sex, I know I did say, and I don't know if I said it the way I'm saying it now, but I do know that I did want him to be disciplined. I don't know if I said he needed a whooping. Right. I might not be saying it right now, but I know I did want him to be disciplined. Right. But I didn't say you got to whoop him or this one got to whoop him and all like that, you know. So a lot of things happen that I don't even know anything about because I wasn't there all the time. I traveled. I went places. I was in evangelistic ministry. I traveled. I went to different places, and I wasn't even there when other people was, you know, there in charge. So a lot of things happen. But I don't know of nobody that did anything evil to anybody. I don't know no person that did anything, in relationship to what Joy is talking about.
Former House of Prayer member Sabrina Hamburg reported to investigators that her son Marcos Cruz had been beaten and deprived of food and water by Anna Young. Young then forced Sabrina to abandon her son on the streets of San Juan, Puerto Rico in the mid-1980s. Marcos was a toddler at the time. He was never seen or heard from again.
A baby or a small child that, see if this story rings a bell, that he either died at the church or he was taken to a monastery somewhere or in another sent to another country. Does this ring a bell?
Oh, but I don't know that name. I don't know nobody's name. There, her and her mother came there, and she had a little boy, but he wasn't no baby. He wasn't no little baby.
Okay.
He was like preschool, 4 or 5 years old, and she left with him. The mother left with him.
Like left him somewhere and came back, or because this is the story we're getting on that.
Her and her mother left together. I don't know if she left him with her mother or what, but she left.
No, this boy was taken to, where the heck was it? There's one story that he went to Puerto Rico. That's it.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that one. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. I know the mother left, like brother, a couple of times. She stayed there with us. She left a couple of times. Then she came back. People would leave and come back if they got
no babies that you
no baby. You talking about an
toddlers or?
Now this little boy, he was maybe about 4 or 5 years old, but I'm saying he left with his mother and his grandmother.
And they were together.
And then it was a sister. I can't think of her name either, Lord. But it was it was a mother.
Look at my notes.
It was two. It was one, two. Altogether, it was 4 of them that came there at the same time. Then it was a lady that came there. Her and her husband came there, and they had 6 kids. But they only stayed. They could something about they rent or something. Anyway, they came there. They only stayed maybe a week or 2, and then they came back and forth to the church and to the school.
If this was a picture I actually got, I have this. not related to this, so here's the baby.
Oh, wow, man, I ain't even never seen him at that age.
Do you know, and who is
I know her. That's
that?
her mother.
And what's her name?
Priscilla.
Okay. Sister Priscilla?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know her real name?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, because that's...
But he wasn't no baby like that. That must be when he was born or something.
Okay. And what happened to him?
She left with him. Her and her mother left, she left, and they had another sister that was maybe Joy's age or maybe older. They left. They never came back. She came back and then she left.
Oh, okay, so Priscilla came back.
And then she left.
Now, who was she married to? So
I don't know.
Telling me someone she was married to. But yeah, so...
Yeah, I remember her. I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her. But he wasn't that tiny, because that looked like a baby when they came in.
So he was older when they... Do you know where they took him to?
No, because they just left. You know, like this is where some people would just leave. Well, I didn't even know when they left. They would just leave, and you know, a lot of people came there and just came and left. I don't know. I didn't get involved with all that. Where you going and questioning them. They just left when they wanted to leave. They went where they wanted to go.
So here comes the question that's probably gonna not make you happy.
Ain't nothing you said made me happy.
Nothing I'm saying is making you happy, I know that.
How can I be happy over all these things that
can't.
you're saying?
So, did you ever order Sister Priscilla to take that baby and get rid of him?
What? Yeah, that ain't made me happy, but it just... You mean, did Joy really tell you all of this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
A child told you...
We'll move on to the next.
No, I'm just saying, when she left, Joy couldn't have been no more than about 9 or 8. I'm just trying to understand.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand how could she build up such hate and viciousness to make the church seem as bad. Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes, but not like what she's not the criminal, evil. A lot of people whip their children, and maybe but the intent is not to kill or to destroy or make it seem like that. And everything that you're saying is me. I'm the vicious person.
Yeah.
I mean, not you saying it, but
I
my daughter is my own flesh and blood.
Yeah, and
who I've taken.
She said another one.
According to other reports to police, Annie Young was believed to have abused her stepdaughter, Catherine Davidson. Catherine was beaten and locked in a closet by Young, then disappeared in the 1970s. Police searched, but never found her.
When she said you killed Catherine, and you made up the whole...
That ain't shocking me, because Chance already told me that's what she said to the.
Yeah. What about this whole, you made up this whole business of her going missing, that she's really dead?
Mm-mm. She's lying. Joe wasn't even born. She don't know what she's talking about. I don't know where. It was a time. Excuse me.
And I mean,
it was a time.
And that's.
When things happen, and you got this is the only thing, a trail of stuff happening in your life. A trail of stuff happening in your life involving children. It's just like, it's a story my grandmother used to say, the little boy called, you laugh so much that when you telling the truth, don't nobody believe you.
Right.
And it can be like, you done been involved in so many different things in your life that was bad, that people don't even believe you. And so when things come up and you really didn't have anything to do with them, things are the cause, and that's a pain. Because I became impotent. I lost my sight. I couldn't see. I had to go to, all kind of stuff happened to me.
And I did hear that.
I blame myself for not keeping up with the children.
Mm-hmm.
I blame myself. and everything. And then I had a brother. I wish he was alive sitting here because he would tell you the truth now. But I had a brother that he's gone, so y'all can't hurt him. But he was a drug dealer, and he got in trouble with the law. And he actually told me that he was going to say different things against me if I didn't give him the money to pay for his lawyer. Now he changed down through the years, but he said that to me.
And he's passed away, you said?
He passed away 3 years ago. That's why I say I wish he was here, you know, and everything. But it's a lot of things. All the things that's being said about the church incidents and everything like that, some of them I've never heard until Terrence. The things that you're saying today, I never heard some of those things because Joy never uttered them to me. She never uttered them to me.
You said your other daughter was spoken to by the FBI about.
She told me.
That's what she said.
See, I wasn't
And
there, but
I
she
think
did.
if any advice I could give you, if they come asking you a question, I'd be just as open with them as you have been with us.
I will be.
You know,
I mean,
that's a wonderful thing. I mean, I'm not even. You can, I'll let you talk to them about that.
Excuse me. Well, this is what I, like I told you a few minutes ago. What's your name?
Leslie.
Leslie. Like I told you, and Mr. Miller is listening. Like I told you. It's just like God in the Bible. People can believe what they want to believe. If people don't believe in God, I have a son that don't believe in God. If people believe what they want to believe. So all I can say is that you and Mr. Miller, Leslie, you believe what you want to believe, the FBI, but God knows the truth.
Absolutely.
So if I have to be punished because of lies and allegations that a daughter who I loved and raised the best that I knew how, and it was strict raising, but my daughter traveled, she had plenty of food to eat and everything. The only thing I didn't want her to do is the things that she did right there on the church grounds. And so if she want to condemn me and lie on her own mother who loved her, if that's what she want to do, all I can say is I got Bible for this. Because the Bible says that it will come a time when children will become against their parents and they'll even take them before the law. So all I can say is that I was in jail before. And when I was in jail, all I did was pray and try to encourage the lesbian girls not to be lesbian. I was attacked viciously in jail. I had to be moved because I was physically attacked. But I'm telling you, at 75 years old, whatever I got to go through, I can go through it.
Yeah,
I can go through it. You know why? Because God is with me.
And
I know that.
And I believe that. And
I believe that. I know that.
I believe every word of what you just said, and I think
that.
that's an honorable position to take.
I know that. I know that. And I
let-
can't change what, like I said, there's people in jail, in prison, they find our DNA or whatever they have started learning. It's innocent people that ain't did anything. It's Jesus that did it. So, like I said, my daughter, she has to live with these lies. I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her.
I have spoken to the sheriff's office that covers that area.
What area?
That Micanopy
Oh,
area.
Micanopy.
And, we're blaming all this on Joy, but I have to
No, I ain't blaming it.
No, I am. Full disclosure is that there are 3 other people that are saying the same thing. And I'll give you a for instance. Thomas.
He's saying that.
Thomas said he
Saying what he
Brother Jonah was there.
Oh, no.
And his father, O.D., was there.
Brother Jonah was there.
But his father was there, and
Whose
he was
father?
there. Thomas's father,
Oh, I thought,
Brother Adam.
they saw,
And that they
so that's,
took care, they had to dispose of the body.
they didn't tell me that. They did not tell me that. They told me that they were giving him to someone.
They said he died on the property because he was withheld food and water and was punished. And that's how he died.
They knew this. They saying that out of their mind. This is not Joy, this is them.
Yes.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything. Brother Thomas them took
And he
him.
had discussions with his father when it happened. But over the years when they lived in Mississippi and before he died in 2011, you know, because I think Thomas said you called and wished him well.
Called and wished him well.
Wished him the best in terms of his father passing.
Yes, I did do that. But I'm talking about Brother.
And
No, he didn't.
your order.
No, they didn't.
And this is why I told you I'm going to be I told you I was going to be completely honest with you as to what we heard and give you that opportunity to say,
It is
yes,
not.
it did. And
No, it didn't. Not. If it did, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. And that'll be what I know in the name of God. I don't know anything about what Brother Thomas saying. I don't know anything about my husband being there.
or O.D.
I don't know anything about O.D. being there. My understanding was that they gave him to somebody. That was my understanding. That was my understanding. That they took him away. Because I was dealing with so much. And Brother Jonah was dead. So how could
That's
it be?
true. And I misspoke. I believe it was
Brother Jonah.
it's a brother. I get confused with the brothers' names versus the legal names. So
Well, I don't
yeah,
know.
Thomas and his father, and what they told the investigators.
Thank you for letting me know this.
Well, I think you deserve to know this.
Yeah,
you
I
deserve
do.
to
Yeah, I need to know the truth.
either get it off your chest
I need
that
to-
it happened, right?
No, it
Don't.
didn't.
I mean,
I
if
can't-
it happened, now would be the time, like you said. You face God.
But I don't know
And
anything
you don't
about
need to face me because I'm not going to do anything to you today, right? I'm just here today to have a conversation with you.
No.
But it's up to you.
And that's what I'm doing.
And that's why I'm giving you that
I told
opportunity.
you everything.
And I appreciate
I
you.
told you what I know.
Right.
And they told you what they
Otherwise,
know.
Yeah.
So if that's what they know, that's what they hear from me. That's all I can say. They did not let me know this.
So
They did not, all these years, they never told me this.
Well, they said that you had them dispose of his remains in a respectful way. However, it was at your urging that his remains be placed with dignity and grace on the property.
No, ma'am. No. It's no, listen, like I said, God knows. He knows. So if Brother Thomas told you that, he knows. It's but if Brother Thomas told you that, that's what he knows. I don't know that. So I'm not going to say I know something that I don't know to you or anybody else. I don't know that.
And what we want is obviously the truth.
I don't know that. So, like I said earlier, I can't say what Brother Thomas, I would not stand before anybody in this world and say Brother Thomas did this or so-and-so did this because I don't know anything about what you just said. So if I am going to be the victim because they're agreeing in something that I don't know anything about, so be it. So be it. Because I'm not going to lie on anybody to save anything that I don't know anything about. Not even when it comes to myself. Because that would be lying and that would be evil. I don't know, I did not know anything about what you just said. So if I have to, whatever, I'll just be prepared.
Well, I just don't want
Mentally.
I feel you need to hear the full story.
What? No.
No, then I'm giving you the full story,
But,
right?
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't
it's
want
hard,
to,
but
I don't want to,
I think you need to hear it, and we need to hear your response to it, and that's what you have done for us, is given us your response.
that's my response.
Right.
Because that's my truth. That
Right.
is the truth
Mhm.
on my side of the table.
So, I mean,
So-
it's much better when we put it all out there instead of doing a tap dance around, you know. Just like I said, when I got involved with this with Mr. Miller, I felt like I kicked the hornet's nest. You know, it's like
What does that mean?
you know, when you kick that and the bees come flying
Oh,
out,
okay,
you know,
okay.
and it's, you know, because of what people
So
are
you said
saying.
Brother
So, you know,
Moore-
as an investigator, I have an obligation
And he's not living
to
in
look into what's going on. So, having this opportunity to speak with you, and I do thank you for that.
But, the baby, he's gone.
And there's, the
Well, Brother Thomas still must know something that I didn't know. Because that ain't the way it was told to me. That he was going to be with somebody. And they was a nice person and they would take care of him. This is what I thought. But if that isn't what...
Because it was Brother Adam that took Moses, right?
Elder Adam, I don't know if he took him literally by himself or whatever, but he was the one that I was talking to mostly about it.
Right.
And everything, yes.
So,
And you said that you gave Elder Adam the money.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, but I didn't give it to him all in
I think I have another picture, if you wouldn't mind, on my desk. Take 3 seconds.
Well, I'll just... So,
You're saying this is the first today you've heard of that?
that he was really, yeah, I never heard that. Different thoughts would come to my mind different times. Even about Kathy, different things would come to my mind. But I never, you know how you just be thinking somebody look like somebody or whatever. But you know what? I guess because I read the Bible a lot. And I know because certain things happen in my life that got me close to God, made me want God, made me feel a need for God. And our church is in a revival now. And these are some of the things that our pastor been talking about, is how in these times, and the more you try to serve God, the more things are going to come up against you, you know. So I'm not the only person that I've said something about was Joy. And that's the only person that I know anything bad about. I don't know anything bad about Brother Thomas. I don't know anything bad about his dad. I don't know anything bad about nobody. Sister Priscilla, I don't know anything bad about nobody.
Okay.
So whatever is being said, that's what I have to deal with.
Sister Priscilla
Mm-hmm.
is Sabrina, right?
Yeah.
Sabrina.
Cruz. That name just
Oh, okay.
ain't her last
Yeah,
name?
at one time.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that's
yeah,
true.
that just when you said Sabrina.
I went to your pictures there, right? That's, here's some pictures that we were given. Okay, so we talked about Thomas and what he said, and we talked about Joy and what she said. what we haven't talked about is that Sabrina, and that's not her name now, right? It's Priscilla, Sabrina, whatever. She's got lots of names. She has given a sworn statement that says, I'm going to share with you.
That I did something to her too.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do to her?
That you...
I get rid of it. How could I do that?
that would be the question.
How could I make her get rid of her child? When she left with her child herself, how did I make her get rid of her child? I don't even know where she took her child. I wasn't with her. She said I was with her and made her get rid of her.
No, she said
I made her.
You made her get
What
rid
did
of
I
her
mean?
child.
I made her kill her child. Is
Made
that what
her
she said?
leave him somewhere.
I made her leave her child.
Abandon him, yeah.
I made her do that. I went with her and made her leave her child.
She said you didn't go with her, but you made her.
But
I'm just telling you what she
No,
said.
I'm just trying to figure, I'm just trying to understand, I'm just trying to understand how did I do that? I'm just trying to understand how did I do that and how could I have done it?
They told me it was, Brother Adam went with her. Brother Adam, that's right, Brother Adam.
So I made her
child.
And I made her get rid of her child. And Elder Adam, I'm trying to put her and Elder Adam together. Okay, well, you know what? It's so much that I can't hardly consume it all. So anything you say now, from this point on, it can't be no worse than anything you've already said.
Yeah. So would you say, for the record, you did have something to do with that, or you did not have something to do with it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
That was her decision to leave. That was her decision. So what I'm going to say to you,
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
like I said, I've answered your question.
Mm-hmm. And yes,
And I gave
very,
it,
very nice for it. Thank
and
you.
I have to answer them the way that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't answer them the way somebody else said.
Exactly.
Because that ain't what I know. I have to answer them the way what I know. What I know.
Of course.
So, from everything that you're saying to me, in the small mind of my brain, you got all these people saying, it ain't just the Social Security thing. That's not bad. But you got all these people saying that the only word can come to me now, it's like I'm like a Hitler. And I ordered people to kill kids. And that I know, brother. And that
anyone said you ordered anyone to kill kids, but that they died as a result of maybe some excessive punishment.
That I did.
That you were in charge of ordering or that sort
well,
of
that
thing.
to me it's the same thing.
Right.
If somebody die,
but I mean,
if somebody
in
die,
an accidental kind of way,
No. It's deeper than that to me.
Yeah.
It's way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you to go kill somebody, and you go kill them, I ordered you to do that. I ordered you to do that, regardless of whether I did it or not.
Or how about if you tell someone, to go punish someone, because that's what the story says, and then they happen to die.
Well,
is that any different?
Not to me.
See?
It ain't no difference to me.
Yeah, that's true.
It's definitely no difference. To me, it's because they still dead. It don't make no difference. So that's why I'm just saying, it's like I ordered people to be killed. That's the way.
I guess if you mention it that way, that I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I mean,
that's a heck of a picture.
Yeah. It's but all I can say is God knows. That's all I can say. Because like I said, Brother Thomas, everybody you named except Joy has been good to me down through the years. Brother Thomas was good in the church. I don't know nothing about it. I never seen him or Elder Adam do anything evil. I seen Elder Adam discipline, but I didn't see it from an evil thought or an evil feeling. I never seen any of that. So if they want to blame me for anything that occurred and everything like that, if I was on the jury stand right now, I would say, do unto me as you would. That's what I would say, do unto me as you would, you know.
Did you ever see Brother Thomas ever punish anybody or raise his hand to anybody?
No. And if I did, I wouldn't even tell you that he did at this point. Because since I seem to be the person, I can't do that. I couldn't do that. I cannot say anything against anybody that has been right with me, and I ain't never seen them do or perform an evil act. I can't do it with my daughter. I can't do that. So those pictures. Who is that's my dad, but he's deceased. Yeah.
Some interesting pictures.
So I'm not going to take anybody through anything.
Right.
Excuse me.
So what was the whole story with the picnic and what was that all about? I mean, because that came up obviously.
What you mean? What it was all about?
That she was missing, right?
Yeah. We went on my husband, not my husband, but Brother Jonah, he used to like to go to the park and the beach. You know, we always was going, taking the kids, riding them to the parks and to the museums and to the, you know, he was that family type of man, and so was I. We liked taking the kids places and everything like that. And so when we went and everything, she came up missing. That's just that it. You know, she came up missing. And we searched, and a lot of people helped us and all like that. So that was a terrible time, you know, in my life. Like this is a terrible time right now and everything. But, like I said, I was just telling my daughter this morning, I was just telling her, when, you know, we have a revival at our church every night. We've been had it for 2 weeks. And every time we go, the preacher is like he just Bible. And it's like it's been just drinking down in me. Mm-hmm. And so, me knowing who I am, usually I would be just crying, and because I have hypertension, you know, high blood pressure, and usually I would be sitting here worrying about my high blood pressure. You know, I would be worrying about my panic stress disorder. I would be worrying about, because I got that years ago. I was diagnosed with that and all like that. But I know, see, one thing about the truth, when you know the truth, and I'm experiencing this for the first time, that you can accept things. And you don't want to hurt nobody. You don't want to do nobody no harm. The only reason I brought up Joy is because I would have never thought that Brother Thomas would kill me.
Well, they're saying you knew.
I did not know. I know what they're.
You know.
Yeah, I already know. But I'm saying I did not know. But I don't believe that he would say that if they don't know. They know some things about what went on there that I don't know anything about.
But she did say it.
Well, that's not a problem. That is not a problem. That is not a problem. Because it may seem like a problem to you because you're dealing with me going to jail, penitentiary, or being killed, or whatever's going to happen.
No, what I deal with is the truth.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know.
Yeah, and you're dealing with all these people
And
would
what
not be.
happens as a result of the truth is what happens.
Yeah.
Much like you've described to me today. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm not Do you think I'm blaming you for
No,
anything?
of course not. No.
Do you think do I sound like I'm trying to justify anything? I'm just telling you what I know and don't know. That's all I'm telling you is what I know and what I don't know. So if one person is saying I'm one person.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Everybody can tell their truth.
I'm just one person.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a team of people that you just named that's saying different.
Yeah.
So if they're saying different, it stands to reason in my mind that you're going to believe what they're saying.
Well,
because of what they're saying. I'm just saying, I don't have no proof.
That's yet to be determined.
But
I find your openness quite refreshing. And that's yet to be
When you
determined.
say that word, what you mean?
Because a lot of people aren't as kind and open as you are under these circumstances, and you've explained a lot to me that I did not understand.
Well, I mean, the way it is that you don't have, I don't mean you, but a person don't have no control over what people say about them or think about them or feel about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that they thought I had that kind of power. I didn't realize that I can't even understand the people that you were talking about that would have let me have that. You know, they just didn't seem like that kind of people because there were so many disagreements and I ain't talking about this evil part. I'm just talking about talking about different things about school, politics and stuff. We had just different disagreements and things, and they would let me know they didn't feel this way and they didn't feel that way. So that's why some of the things that you're saying, I don't know these people like they presented themselves to you. I just know them as nice, kind people. We're always working together to try to help people that had problems and issues, and we were letting them know that you don't need to be on drugs, you don't need to be on crack, you don't need to be prostituting, you don't need to be doing these types of things, and you can come here and, we learn about herbs and stuff and detox, clean your body out, and try to win other people to the Lord. So what I'm saying is that if they want to put some bad things that happened that I did not witness or know anything about on me, I know this may be strange to you and you may think I'm a religious fanatic, but the way that I feel about it is that Jesus Christ did no sin. That's the way I feel about him. Mm-hmm. And I love him. But they crucified him. That's my belief. I believe in everything in the Bible. And he was innocent. And there's a lot of people that have followed Jesus that was innocent. And there's a lot of people that are in prison and jail and have been murdered and killed because they was innocent based on the majority in the courthouse. The jury believed it. The other people. So people have a choice. That's what our pastor been teaching us. People have a choice. It don't make no difference. It's good facts and it's wrong facts. Right. So what I'm saying is that the Bible says you can, in good health, he promises you 10 score, 3 score and 10. That's 70 years. If you live past that, it's God's grace and mercy. Mm-hmm. I'm a 75-year-old woman. I don't have no serious health issues other than high blood pressure. I'm on strong medication for that and panic stress disorder. And I just got that years ago when so many things was happening in my life. Right. But I'm just saying, anything else that happened, they can come to my house. If I can leave here today and get home, I'll sit down and tell my husband everything. So he'll be prepared for them to come.
You're leaving here today. We're just having a conversation. So
I'm just having a conversation too.
So I think we have
I'm just having
that
a conversation.
Obligation. I think because you said there's these people that I talk to that as good people from the church
They
back
are.
in the day, and they probably are very good people, but it's our obligation to look at everything
Right.
for your sake, because you're the one that's being accused.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't
I
it
understand
our
that.
obligation to do the best we can do, to talk to as many people as we can talk to be able to put the truth out there on the table? So like you said, well, it sounds like I'm going to believe this over this over this. No, I'm going to look at everything, and I'm going to dig and dig and dig till the truth is on the table. And
So you
that
feel
no
the
one's
truth
going
is on
to,
the
no
table.
one is going to be doubtful of that at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fair to you, and that's fair to everybody
Well,
involved.
like I said, you have to do. This is why God ordained people like you too. Because it is people that do things.
This isn't a game. This is not a game.
Yes, yes.
So to me and to Mr. Miller and to everybody who's involved with this, it's not about, I win, I'm going to go with the majority of what's going on here, that this person says this and that person says. It's important to get it right.
Yeah. Yes, it's important to
And
get it right.
I promise we will get it right.
It's important, but you can't promise me that.
Well, I can.
No, you
I'm
can't.
going to promise you that we'll get this right.
You can't promise me.
Why not?
The reason why I know you can't promise me that is because there's too many people that have been, according to the Bible and according to now, there's too many people that have been put in jail and killed, and all kinds of things have happened to them because somebody was trying to get it right and they felt like they got it right. So I appreciate everything you are going to pursue
In
on my behalf and on that.
objective manner possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I
to me, it's not a game. It's not
I don't
a game.
think it's a game with anybody.
And just so you understand me, and
I
it's
do.
not, I'm going to tick this off, I got, okay, that case is done, and move on, and no, it's much more important than that.
Well, why would you think I would even think that?
No, I didn't think you thought that, I was just telling you.
I've already,
Myself.
yeah. Well, I've already told you, and you, Mr. Miller, you sent me a letter.
Mm-hmm.
I came in here.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Wonderful.
I didn't know nothing about what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I told you what I feel caused all this from my daughter Joy.
Mm-hmm.
Stirred up all this mess from one person, my daughter Joy. Now that it's stirred up like it is.
She's troubled. I mean,
I understand.
She's troubled.
She's real troubled.
Yeah.
She's real troubled. And she's going to be troubled no matter what happens. That's why I said you can't make it right.
Yeah.
I'm her mother.
Right.
She knows in her heart and in her mind, in her factual mind, that she ain't got nothing to stand on but what's in her mind as far as what she's accused me of. Now, Brother Thomas, that's a different thing. That's a whole different. Now, that's a different thing. That's what's shocking. That Joy ain't. I
thought it would be fair to tell you that.
No.
Because.
But you ain't got to
defend.
You. You know what? You ain't got to justify nothing you doing because you are doing what you have been ordained to do in service of this United States of America as well as God. So I don't feel bad about neither one of y'all. I don't have nothing against y'all. I don't even have nothing against Joy. Other than, not against, but I feel hurt for her.
Yeah.
Because I know that she knows that mostly everything she's saying, except considering she might have witnessed that. I can't remember what she saw or whatever. She knows that she don't really know. She don't have no facts. She ain't seen none of this. She's just speaking. Now, Brother Thomas, I I believe if he said that, he knows what. So I can't say nothing against that because he said this out of his own mouth.
Then he was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that.
Right.
But I'm just saying I didn't see that.
Right.
And I ain't gonna change it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change that. You can dig and dig and dig and fig and all that is weird. Whatever you got to do, you do it, baby.
Okay.
But that ain't going to change
Uh-huh.
nothing as far, you know, everything that I told you here, I just told you. If it come up when I got to go to court or whatever else I would have to do, I'm not going to talk about Joy anymore. I'm not going to say she got a problem. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about Brother Thomas. I'm not going to talk about anybody. I'm just putting my hands in the hands of God. And whatever is done, it'll be done. I just thank God that I have a chance to go home and tell my husband what has occurred here today.
Yeah. It's just a lot.
So that he can be prepared for whatever has to happen. And I don't want my husband spending no money. We poor. I make my clothes. I'm not going to have my family. I will let this pass.
As it plays out. Yeah.
And I'll let it pass as God's will be done.
I think that's a good posture.
Yeah.
Great
God's
posture.
will be done because I can't prove nothing that I can't prove.
Right.
All I can do is tell you what I know.
So, I so appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too, because I don't feel nothing in you but good. I don't feel attacked. I don't feel. I feel like you haven't. I feel like you're doing your job, and you're supposed to do your job. That's what you're being paid for. And then you wouldn't have got into this if you. I mean, I'm not saying everybody get into this for the right reason, but I can feel your spirit. You into this because you desire to make sure that justice is done to all people, and I believe that with my heart.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, whatever.
Yeah.
My life is at the mercy of God. So I've lived, even with all the things that has happened and everything like that, I still say God is and has been and is good to me. Because whatever I got to go through, He'll still be there.
Yes.
He'll
Always.
still be there.
Always.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to put people who have been good to me, my daughter Joy, who I've wanted and prayed for and all like that, I'm not going to put her dignity or talk about her. You know, I had this conversation with y'all. Whatever y'all say, that'll be y'all, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. I would love Brother Thomas them down through the years, and I don't know anything bad about his character, his personality, or anything like that. So I'm not going to try to bring anything in that I might have felt this way about or that way about or didn't agree on. I'm not going to do that because I feel like the fact that they have said these things about me, they can't bear it like I can. See, I can bear it. I can bear being lied on. I can bear that. So if they can't bear the truth, then I'll bear it for them. That's the way I feel. And I feel like God will reward me for that. Because Jesus himself, he didn't say nothing against his accusers.
Right. That's true.
So,
that's true.
You know, so I put myself in positions to be accused.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so if someone, you know, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised at how forthcoming you are and how open you have been.
I just have to be that way because it's like you used the word a while ago about it's no game plan.
No.
This is no game.
This is life.
This is something that you got to deal with. You got to deal with the truth. And so if don't nobody know the truth but you and God, then you ain't got to worry.
That's right.
You ain't got to worry because it don't make no difference. I mean, you know, all kind of tragic, bad things happen all the time to good people. Children are missing all over the world, and fathers having sex. All kind of stuff happening in this world. It's a lot of cruel, bad things happen in this world, you know. And that's why a lot of people don't even believe in God, because our oldest son said, how can it be a God? And he let all these things happen. But it's choices that people make. God give us free will. That's why he offers us a better world. And that's the world I want to go into. So Jesus didn't try to justify or talk about Judas who betrayed him or anything like that. So if all of them who you just named want to justify something and use me as a person that had so much control and power over their lives that they would do criminal acts for me, if they want to say that, you know, what can I do? I ain't gonna do nothing.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for that.
really, I appreciate you being open today.
Wow, I mean,
I
I didn't know it was going to go this in depth, and I appreciate you
Well,
for
we all didn't know that.
sharing with me.
Yeah.
We all didn't know that. We all didn't know that. I mean,
If I have any questions, would you mind my calling you in the future?
you can call me. You got both of my numbers.
Uh-huh.
And like what I do volunteer service with sick people and everything like that. So if you call me and you know, in the next 2 days and I'm where I can't really talk, I may tell you, can I call you? Would you give me a time to call you back? Or I might have to, you know, do that. But you can call me anytime.
Thank you.
And you can leave a message, you know, and everything like that. And so I want to ask you this too, and you may not be able to answer it, but if all this, everything, you know, because I know about all this, okay, what do indictment mean in the criminal sense?
An indictment is when you have enough information to charge someone.
Okay.
It usually comes out of a grand jury.
Okay. So
you bring the case to a group of citizens who say that there's this much evidence that goes over a bar of evidence that says we believe you probably did this crime, you have probable cause.
Okay.
And then when you're charged, then after that you can be arrested.
Okay. So, I want to make sure I'm clear.
I know that's a real simplistic way of putting it. I hope I didn't confuse it.
No, I just want to make sure I understand, because I'm dealing with preparation, because I don't know what y'all going to do. I don't know what's going to happen. But I have children. And and they planning me a gathering in July to sell. I even know I was born in December, but my son already been paid for the rent a place. So I just want to, be able to tell.
What's your birthday?
My birthday is actually December the 14th. But July, you are. But July the 10th, So what I'm just saying, I just want to know, you may not want to answer or you may not should answer, but I'm going to ask this question. Do you think I have time to talk to my children?
Oh. Yeah.
Before,
honestly,
if it's an indictment.
I'm not even there. I'm just.
Yeah. So I'm just trying. What I'm trying to do is get my house in order.
Yeah.
It's just like if the doctor tell you you're gonna die in so many days.
I have no.
Yeah.
Time. I have no timeline. So
Yeah. And so I need to
advise you on that. There's I don't have any warrants.
Yeah. I'm just do you understand what I'm doing?
I know, but I don't have any warrants or anything, so we're not even there.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just. Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
I understand what you're saying. I understand that you want to have time to prepare.
Yeah.
I think you're jumping.
You're jumping ahead.
Trying to
think
something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the answer is yes. If that were the case,
you got the time. That may not ever happen.
Yeah, it may not, but I'm just saying. I don't know if it ain't gonna happen, because like I said earlier, it's been so many
Yeah.
people
I'll tell
based
you.
on other people accusing.
Okay, so I'll tell you why I can't give you time and why I don't know, because let's say something may happen, but because there's other detectives that are working on things and we'll share information, but so someone else might have a different idea than me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, what I'm trying to do right now is that since, everything is up in the air, so to
And that's
speak,
really
right?
all we can say.
Right.
Everything's up in the
So
air.
I'm just saying, I just wanted to know from you, and you kind of answered it. I just wanted to know, like I'm going back home, and I got to prepare my husband, and then I got to prepare my children for all these things and stuff like that. But I'm not saying what's
But
going to happen.
we're still investigating what people are saying, so.
No, but I know that part.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that it could go this way or it can go that way.
Sure,
That's all I'm saying.
sure, yes.
So in case
Absolutely,
it don't go the way that my family would like for it to go, I just want to be able to prepare, because I'm a homeowner. I need to set up certain things.
Well, that's probably,
in case, because you're saying you got all these people that have signed statements against me.
Mm-hmm.
All I have is my character.
Right.
And the people that's saying these things are the people that live there. You saying Brother Thomas, Elder Adam ain't here no more, so he can't say anything. I talked to him up until he died.
Right.
Me and him talked on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know nobody there that you just mentioned. I could have pulled them up before. I could have said, you could even ask Brother Thomas.
Yeah.
But now he's saying that I really did. So I ain't even got, I can't even,
Yeah.
and well, of course, Joy would have been. So all I got is my children who knew we went on the trip and stuff.
And of course, you never went to the picnic, is what the story is on that. I don't
You're
know.
saying
Did I
what?
say that? Did I tell you?
Well,
So the story is that she never made it to, what, did you go to a picnic at the beach?
we went to the Indiana State Dunes up in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that she actually never was there. She had died at home.
Mm-mm. That is definitely a lie. But see, like I said, my daughter Joy, well anyway, I don't want to talk about her no more. I just said she wasn't, all I said, she wasn't there, so she's dealing with what she think or feel, or what she might have heard, I don't know.
Yeah, she wasn't born yet, was she?
No, she was not. Because Kat is my youngest son, which is 50, and Joy is 39. She's 39 years old. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I'll let you
But
talk about that with the officers from that area. I won't even get into it with you and them.
From what area?
Wherever that happened. Where did that happen?
Oh, I gotta go up there.
If they come around, just talk to them the way you talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Just tell them what you told me.
Yeah, I gotta tell. Well, I have to tell them. I don't know nothing else to tell them. I don't know nothing else to tell them. So,
Well,
I probably took up more time than y'all.
I know that we addressed the Social Security issue, and that's kind of stemmed out a lot, and I appreciate you being upfront about that.
Okay.
Because obviously you know that that's an area that we'll be addressing also.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mama used to say when the rain is pouring. I just, all I can say is, all these years that I've had they've been good to me. God been good to me.
I know.
I don't know why I have oily skin like that.
so you have revival tonight too?
And I'm glad.
You need a little pump up.
Yeah, I need to talk to my pastor.
Yeah.
Tell him all about everything that was said today. Because he don't know anything about this, and I ain't know nothing about all of this. I knew about some of it.
I want to get.
I'm going to.
You sure keep your figure nice. It's so tiny. You're doing your hair is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
But I want you to know I really appreciate the way you handled me during this semester.
I hope you feel like we
Yeah.
respected you.
We're locked in here. He doesn't like me. I'm good. Crazy thing, I have to get here, I'll be right back.
And again, we appreciate you coming in and being so open and honest
Well, I
with us.
gotta, like I said earlier, you got some things in life, even in marriage and everything you choose in life, sometimes you gotta go through stuff, And so this is some pretty horrific stuff, but nevertheless, I gotta go through it because we chose to have that kind of ministry and everything like that. And when you bring all kind of people in and some things don't go their way, you subject to be accused,
I'm sorry, I
Right.
explained that. So so with Joy, the thing about, this is how this went. Joy said that parents told her that all the kids had to lie. So that you know that part, so how does that, what do you think of that?
I can't think no more of it than I thought of everything else. I mean, and like I say, anything you say Joy said or anybody else said, especially when you said Brother Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that was nothing Joy said is a shock.
So do you think parents would have said that?
Oh, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know what, now I'm just shocked about, let me turn this, I turned the phone back on too quick. That's my husband being worried. But,
I wanted to
I don't
show
know,
you.
I don't know.
This is apparently, this is what they gave me in Gainesville. And do you remember him? This is,
I don't remember him looking like that.
he's a big boy, isn't he?
He was a little boy the last time.
Yeah. And these were the scars
I mean,
when he was disciplined.
Well, he wasn't like that.
Is this from?
I can't say that. I can't say that because I never saw nothing look like that.
So when he
saw
was disciplined,
I never saw
child, I guess that's when he was a child and he was disciplined for what he and Joy did.
But I never saw anything like that. No. I haven't seen him since he was a little
I just thought I'd show you these. Yeah, see, that's the ones on his back.
Yeah, I never remember.
I think he said they're from, he got whipped.
Well, he said it. I mean, like I said, I didn't see that afterwards, and I didn't see, I ain't seen him, so I don't know. But if he say that's what happened, I just, ain't nothing I can.
Anyway, I just wanted you to see what they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Well,
And so why did they call you Mother Anna? I'm just curious.
Because I was the older woman in the church at that time, and I was older than all the other ladies in the church.
So was that, like, the men were called Elder?
No, it was one. Elder Adam was older. Elder Adam was older, but most of them was called brother or sister.
And then, so was anybody else called Mother?
No.
So that was reserved for you?
Because of my age.
Okay.
Yeah, like in my church now where I go to a large church, and they call me Mother. They do it when you get older.
Okay.
They have a mother's board, where women, when they reach a certain age,
they
call them Mother.
It's not because you're in charge? Because that's what people said, you were Mother Anna because you were in charge.
No. They call me Mother Anna now at my church, and I just sit on the pew. I write Christian poetry, but that's all that I do, when somebody asks me to do it. But they don't call me Mother. They call me Mother Anna because I was older, all the other people were younger than me, and everything. And there was one they called Mother Mary, but, she we just because she was, me and her was like 2 years apart. So they called her Mother Millie.
Okay.
But that, that was the entitlement that they gave,
Some sort of respect.
Yeah, like Elder Adam, he was an older man. There was another man named Elder Wallace, So, and then Brother Thompson was younger, so they just called them brother and sister.
I think he was in his 30s.
Maybe so. I mean.
I think. Maybe he was younger.
I don't know. Whatever he told you, that's what it was. I ain't
sure.
trying to fight nobody on nothing. I ain't got no energy. I ain't gonna give myself. There's one thing I know from hearing you talk and everything, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to the Lord. The only thing I was thinking about, I said, I hope I can take my blood pressure pills. Because if I don't, I might have a stroke in jail and die. I'm just saying, you have all kind of thoughts about stuff.
Sure, things rushing through your head.
But I just feel bad.
They have blood pressure.
The only thing I feel, the thing that I feel bad about is that I'm just now feeling bad about that because stuff is telling me. Only thing I feel bad about is that people will tell lies on you to justify what they done and everything. And that's what hurts me when you mention Brother Thomas. Yeah. And, I already know about my daughter. I've been dealing with her for years, so I'm not surprised at anything. But Brother Thomas was a shocker and everything like that. And then for Sister Priscilla to leave the church with her child, herself, based on her own wanting to do, and then say, I made her, because when you first said get rid, I thought maybe she was pregnant and she was saying, I made her have an abortion. That was the first thought that came to my mind when you first said it. But, I mean, I know you...
Why do you think all three of them are saying this stuff?
I don't know, because I do know in a way, I shouldn't say I don't know, but like I said, there was a lot of discipline in the church towards me too. I was disciplined in different ways, talked about, said this and that, and all kind of stuff and all like that. But I'm just saying some things obviously happened that I don't know anything about, and so it's a lot of people that, praise the Lord, whatever they didn't like about me or felt about me or whatever it was, I knew some of those things then. I knew it was some issues, because some things that I would speak about and speak against, because I was, dealing with, sin as far as sex on the property. I was dealing with drugs and different things that I was really strong and adamant about speaking. So maybe that's like you in charge because you the one that's talking about this and you the one that's talking about that. So, and then my husband was the pastor and he's gone. So I imagine if he was here, he would be subject to what I'm being subject to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He most definitely would.
Yeah.
So I know that. So I'm the only one. I'm the only one that didn't die. So I'm alive, and so the only way my livelihood can be taken from me is through things that people say. So if Priscilla, she took her child away, and so she want to blame me for her taking her own child away. I can't say, I don't understand that. So ain't nothing I can tell you as to why a person would say that. I can't tell you why somebody would murder somebody. I can't tell you why somebody would do that. I don't understand.
I mean, her perspective is, Priscilla, that she was tied up and chained up and tied up at the ankles and
Sister Priscilla, tied up and then
she has marks on her ankles showing. I'm sharing too much.
No, you ain't. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff.
It is. It really is.
It's unbelievable stuff. And then I can't understand, how could you hold all this stuff all these years that somebody did to you? I don't understand how, that part I don't understand either. It looked like to me, if something like that happened and you left, that's when you would have wanted to be trying to, because when she left, the church was still existing. Even, and it was just a small group of people. It wasn't like it's some,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't understand why, all of this is, I don't understand. I don't understand none of it. But I know that things happen.
Well, if I hear anything else, I'll let you know.
You'll call me.
I will call you and
Yeah.
let you know.
Yeah.
If you have any questions.
So at least, I know what to pray about, and I know how to handle things. Because, like I said, I'm not into. I ain't never been no revengeful person. I just don't like that. I used to tell my little grandson.
So there wasn't a punishment box on the property that you heard of that?
There was a shoebox on the property, but not.
What's that?
Well, when we came into the church park, we would take our shoes off in the sanctuary, and the brothers built a box for us to be able to do that with. Yeah.
So people didn't get put in a box?
What you mean about a closet?
Like
you
a
said earlier?
built box?
A what kind of box?
Something that's built, that's a
Well,
box?
I don't know nothing about
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna stop now.
You.
I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah.
So if I hear anything more, I'll let you know though.
No, don't stop. What else? Tell me what else.
That's all I
Yeah.
got. That's all I got. And, if more builds up, I'll give you a call, let you know.
You're good. You're good at your job. And I'm just,
Thank you for spending the time with us.
honey, thank God.
You.
You just give God the praise, because I'm telling you, if God wasn't in my life, you probably would be taking me, calling 911 to get me out of here. Because this has been the most horrific, horrifying stuff that I ever heard about me, as well as anybody else that I know in my life. This is like a crazy movie.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, and I don't know how I'm gonna act. Maybe it all sink in later on. But right now, I'm glad that I'm calm enough, because I drove by myself to drive home safely and everything. But this is some horrific stuff. So, like I said, I just got to deal with it, And I'm gonna do what the Bible says. He said, hold your peace and let the Lord fight.
Share with your
I can't do nothing else.
pray.
I'm gonna share with my husband and other people that I know.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we didn't. I don't know what time
It's not raining, is it? I don't even know what time it is. Wow. Goodbye, thank you.
Just always know you just did your job, and you did it well. You did it well.
Thank you for your time.
So whatever time, I would never blame anybody for anything. I will keep you so quiet going through. I got to
Investigators from the Alachua County Sheriff's Office meet with Annie Young for another round of questioning.
And my name is Kevin Allen. I'm a cold case homicide detective for the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. This is Octavio Aguero with the Florida Department of
Law Enforcement.
We have come here to talk to you today about some activities that occurred in Micanopy, Florida, going back as early as 1983. But because of this...
I live there.
Yes, ma'am. But before we can ask you any questions and before we can tell you what we'd like to talk about, we have to give you your rights under the law. So you do have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Excuse me, sorry for bumping.
Yes. Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent?
Well, you say you're going to ask me something. Don't you want me to talk?
It's up to you. I would like to ask you some questions, but you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Well, I don't. I mean, if I get sick, I'll stay silent, because I have to be careful from having I got high blood pressure, and it feels like it's high now.
Yes.
But I'm going to, I ask you the truth, what you want, because I've been through this before.
Yes.
I was talking to the Social Security man, and way back See, I'm 76 now, but I can't remember the amount of years.
Anna, before I can continue, I have to ask you some questions about your rights, and you need to answer yes or no. Do you understand?
Yes or no? Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent?
Yeah, I can be silent if I wanted. That's what
Yes. If you want an attorney, you can have an attorney present while we're speaking to you. Do you understand that?
I don't have no attorney.
If you don't have an attorney and you want an attorney, we can actually get you an attorney. Do you understand that?
Oh, you'll give me an attorney?
The government could get you an attorney, yes.
Okay. Well, what I need, okay, you saying, are you talking about the things Joy said?
I can't talk about any of these things till I know that you understand your rights.
Well, I'm just trying to find out, do I need an attorney?
That's up to you.
Well, I don't know. Because I don't know all of what, I know what she said.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything she said.
But we can't talk about that yet until we know that you understand your constitutional rights.
No, I
So-
never read them.
Well, let's go through them one at a time. And these are in writing. Number one, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to call or obtain an attorney at this time and have one present now or at any time during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney and you want one before or at any time during this questioning, one can be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now, you have the right to stop answering at any time. Do you understand?
You're saying if I want to talk.
No, we're not asking you if you want to talk. We're simply explaining to you what your constitutional rights are. The only question we're asking you is if you understand those rights.
And that's yes or no of the 5 questions.
Or 5
I'm
statements.
sorry. I don't remember all.
We could do them one at a time. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
I don't have to talk.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand?
Anything I say.
Yes. I'm recording all of this, so everything you say can and will be used against you if we end up in court someday.
Why it be against me?
Well, I know. Obviously, you want to know what's going on. Okay, so let me clarify it for you. Okay, what we're doing is we are explaining to you what your constitutional rights are. Okay, we know that you're a very articulate woman because when you were interviewed at the Social Security office, that entire interview was audio and video recorded. So we know what your normal demeanor is.
I am normal.
We are here today with an arrest warrant. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yes. Okay. And that's why we need to read you your constitutional rights and make sure that you understand them. And then you have a choice. After you read this and explain to us whether you understand it or not, you have a choice as to whether you want to talk to us or not. You are under no obligation to talk to us. But understand that at that point, we are under no obligation to talk to you either.
Well, listen. You listen too.
Mm-hmm.
See, I see how you looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. But let me say something.
Please.
I am intelligent and I know I'm old.
Highly intelligent. We know that.
But I know I'm sick too. You ain't in my body. And you went at the hospital with me. Excuse me.
That's okay.
You
don't
went
need to
at
pick
the
it up. It's
hospital
okay.
with me a few days ago.
Right.
I know how my blood pressure feel and I know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not my doctor, so don't try to make me think that I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I also know that I feel like throwing up. I'm
We
sick.
understand.
I know my blood pressure. My husband, you can call different people.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick and I'm sick now. So I'm sicker now.
Okay.
I'm 76 almost. This is not easy for me because I know what everything you here for already. Because my daughter
Okay.
already told me that,
Okay.
and my other children and other family friends told me about y'all coming to their house.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to put on nothing.
We don't doubt that you're sick, Anna.
I'm not trying to put on no kind of nothing. I wish I could be better.
Okay, we don't doubt
I wish
that
I
you're
could be
sick.
better.
All I'm trying to get through to you is
And
to
I-
understand that all we're doing right now is just explaining to you what your constitutional rights are.
I ain't arguing with you though.
Okay.
Did I say you?
Anna, do you
make
feel
it-
well enough to have this conversation right now, or not?
No, I get it. I'm not trying to not.
Patio, door.
I'm not trying to not cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get you to understand that I wish it's not like with the kids. I'm not fronting or putting on any act now.
Okay.
That's what he looking at me too angry,
Okay.
like I'm some person that's trying to do something wrong. I'm older now, and I'm sicker now, and my doctors will tell you that. But I'm just trying to do what's best for me
You
and
should.
my health.
We want you to do
So
it.
I don't want you to have to take me to no hospital.
Okay.
I want to go. If you're taking me to jail, you taking me to jail.
You are
If
being
taking
arrested
me-
tonight.
He said that.
Yes.
Yes.
So you taking me to jail.
Yes. And we'd like to
So-
talk to you prior to that.
So- but
and
only
that,
thing I'm
but
trying-
before we could do that, we have to get through this. But it sounds like you're not up to it.
No, I'm
You're not
just-
feeling strong enough for it.
Yeah, okay, let me get stronger. But all I'm asking you to do, for my children's sake,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to have a stroke now. I got medicine that I usually take at night
Okay.
to try to calm my blood pressure down.
Where's
the
that
doctor
medicine
just-
now?
The nurse, the police lady, she can get the bag,
Okay.
and I have. See, when I get, I'm sick right now.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not.
I don't think we should
what's
pursue
gonna
this at
happen to
this
me?
time.
I'm
What's
fine
gonna-
with that. The only point I'm trying to get across to you, Anna, is that all we're doing right now, it's not whether I believe that you're sick or not. All we're doing right now is just trying to explain to you what your constitutional rights are. Nobody's here to violate your rights. Nobody's here to force you to talk. But before we can say or ask you anything, we need to make sure that you understand what your rights are. That's my only point.
Well, I don't feel like asking a lot of questions now.
And you shouldn't if you don't feel up to it.
I didn't
Okay.
already said that to the lady.
You did to the other
No,
officer
no,
here?
they called me in the Social Security,
Leslie.
and I talked Miss Leslie.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the lady,
Okay.
and I can't remember the gentleman. So, just y'all gonna put me in jail? Put me in jail, and just let me have my medicine. And is there any way I could say something to my husband?
Sure. We absolutely will bring him in here and explain to
Yeah,
what's
I think
happening.
yeah.
And he will
And
help
so-
get your medicines and
And
everything.
so, yeah, because this is, painful for him.
Yes, I understand. Would you like me to go get him now to explain everything?
Yeah, and then if it's okay with you, I'm going to sit right here. Can I at least have a glass of water?
Yeah, Carrie, would you be willing to help us for a minute?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to go get the husband and bring him in here, and she requested a glass of
See, I don't
water.
mean no harm to you. I
Oh, no, I
didn't
understand
mean
that.
to be disrespectful. But, see, you don't know how I'm feeling now.
And I don't pretend to know. But what I wanted you to understand is that this is all we're trying to do right now, is just to explain to you
And all
what your
I'm
rights
trying
are.
to do is to stay healthy till till whatever gonna happen, I be stronger to deal with it. Cause I'm not gonna live long.
Would you rather talk to us at a later date, when you feel a little stronger?
Yeah, I probably
Okay.
would. It'd be better.
I'm going to give you another one of my cards. Okay?
But I need to talk to my children too.
Absolutely. Whenever you feel strong enough.
Is this the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I gave you this one and the one before. You can leave one with your husband. Okay?
Did I get another one?
I don't know if you did, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
If you feel up to it, if you want to talk to us at a later date, feel free to call me. And Detective Allen and I will come out to wherever you're at the time. Okay?
Well, you finna take me to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I'll be at.
Well, eventually you will be extradited down to the Alachua County Jail.
And can I say something?
Absolutely.
Anderson, listen. Don't you worry.
It'll be okay. It's gonna be
Listen,
okay.
that's all I want to tell you is that God's will be done, not mine or yours. I try to help the kids. I'm just trying not to be sick.
Yeah.
Whatever I got to deal with, God knows the truth.
Yes.
He knows the truth.
With these cards for me, sir.
Yes, sir.
These is, but they gonna put me in jail.
Now, where is she going from here?
Cobb County Jail. We're from Florida. We're
from
not
Florida.
the authorities that can assist you with what's happening up here. This agency, the U.S. Marshal's Office and the local sheriff's office are going to transport her to the sheriff's office. And then she'll be booked. And then you'll contact the sheriff's office as to how to assist with the next part of this process.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna take me to this jail here.
Yes.
We're not going to.
Wait.
And I do have one question for you. These gentlemen are going to take you to the Cobb County Jail, and eventually you're going to be extradited to the Alachua County, Florida Jail. Okay? My question is, are you going to try to fight extradition to stay here, or are you going to waive extradition and go deal with it over there? Understanding that if you choose to fight extradition, whatever time you're here at the Cobb County Jail is not going to be counted towards time served for whatever occurs down there. Okay?
And I know this is a lot for you to take on right now, but we just have to inform you.
When you transport her, you don't have. Do you have to cuff her or anything like
It'll be
that?
the uniform guys, and they, by policy, they will. Do you have back, shoulder, any upper body?
She does have
They
problem with
they
her
may
shoulders.
handcuff you in the front, or they may do a couple of handcuffs so that you're not like.
Anyway, I was gonna
And those
worry
people
about
come
it.
in
My
there going to do that.
sickness.
Yeah.
What y'all do, y'all gotta do.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
See that part? That part. I'm so don't worry.
Yeah,
She'll be taken
what
care
you
of.
do.
I'm gonna be all right. I ain't worried about what they gonna do, 'cause I didn't live a life. But I just don't want to get sick on the
She
kids.
gets sick.
And you should get an attorney to help you,
Yeah.
because you
But I need
haven't been in
one.
this process in a long time, so you're going to need that kind of assistance.
Yes.
And what about my medicine?
I'm sure you'll be permitted to take your medicines.
Can
It should
I-
be at the Cobb County Jail, so you can bring the medicines to her there.
Why can't have it now?
I don't know about that. You're not in our
That's all a
custody.
matter of what their local policy is. You are in their custody, so whatever their policy is, that's what they have to follow.
Ma'am, I can't take them.
We'll hang tight. We got a uniform coming. As far as medicine, they probably won't accept anything that we take in. They will call your pharmacist. You'll talk to a nurse within an hour. They'll give them, your pharmacist, or what pharmacy you use.
Yes. Walgreens and
They will call Walgreens,
And Walmart.
confirm the medication, and they'll give her meds. Okay.
Okay.
But outside medication, they won't usually, unless it's like cancer meds or any special meds like that. In that case, they would have you bring them up there. Okay.
Yeah,
But they will give her
they want
medication.
me to go now.
Anna, like I said, whenever you're ready to talk to us, if you want to talk to us,
yeah.
give either one of us a call, and we'll come out and talk to you.
You have our cards.
I've got your card. We'll let you.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Why don't we wait until the uniform
Yeah,
officers
Stay right
are
they're
here?
they're en route. So
Stay right
Are
the
they-
there.
ones that were here left for whatever reason. So somebody else has had it right.
All right, Anna, we're going to leave now.
You call the church of me.
I'll take care of it.
You take care of everything.
At age 79, Anna Young pleaded guilty to the second-degree murder of Eamon Harper and the manslaughter of Katonya Jackson. Young was sentenced to 30 years in prison. She died in 2021.